ChairShot Podcast coming at you here back on our regularly scheduled Sunday Eve recording, Monday morning most likely, hitting your pods, which is what I call phones now. How's it going, everybody? We got a loaded show for you coming up, listeners. I hope you are excited for it. I'm one of your hosts, as always. Well, I say my name and then I go as always and I say who I'm with, right? So that's the way it goes, right? We do this, done a couple of times in the past. Here I go, I'll go again, all right? So I'm me, okay? I'm Barry, and with me are my everything co-hosts. First of all, we got Paul.
I'm you.
Oh, I'm me. And with me is Joe.
I'm Joe.
That'd be good. If you were in WWE, that would start your entrance music.
Yeah.
I'm Joe.
The worst music you've ever heard in your life. Keep playing.
Well, folks, we do have a loaded run sheet for you. We got all the usual fun and games you've come to expect. We got your fantasy updates. We got a big week of AEW television to get to. Now, Joe, I have something I want to raise with you, actually.
Oh, here it comes.
You and I need
This
to
has been
discuss
bubbling. This has been bubbling for 17 years.
We got some business we have to... No, here's a recent development. We got some business we have to discuss. I seem to recall, Joe, not that long ago, on this year pod, we put a moratorium on the Riyadh office to discuss on this podcast. And I see
the blockade.
I see the
full, a big beautiful blockade.
the Strait of Titan is closed. Okay. And yet I see WrestleMania on this run sheet. I see WrestleMania on. We were all in agreement that we were putting this in the rear view mirror, and we were only going to talk about, the footy and that instead of talking about WWE. Innit?
I think I was the one who brought that to the table as like...
Interesting, isn't it?
I know.
He's a stickler for the rules, but there's an point going for me in the quiz. But when he wants to watch 6 hours of ads and then pass it off, so he's
even buy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Look,
yeah. Go on.
Here's the thing: is I don't mind putting my own well-being at risk for the benefit of the listeners. Right?
You need to practice more self-care.
I know, but I think the listeners would like us. When there's a industry-defining event such as this, I think, look, if this was just, trust me, if this was just, they did a WrestleMania, and it was all right, it was like WrestleMania fucking 35 or whatever, and it was just all right, I totally agree with you. Let's not cover it. But this was a seismically bad WrestleMania.
Yeah, they all are.
No. If you haven't seen it,
listen, brother. No.
Listen, brother, what you think it was even worse than that. It was, and this is the thing, when it comes to recency bias, a lot of people are going to say, look, this is maybe just me in the heat of the moment. Maybe I'm going too far. I don't think people are going far enough on how bad this was. I think people are being too forgiving. Because I think this was, and granted, it's only night one. So let's start from the beginning.
I mean, I saw the picture of the set, and that looked pretty bad. I mean, it looked cheap. It looked like, because they've had, one thing you said about WWE, for WrestleMania, like fucking hell, they
roll out the red carpet.
They go mad. It's like Disneyland, right? This looked like, not like shit, but it looked like AEW kind of a big pay-per-view level.
It was like when I saw the stage for WrestleMania 17, and then I saw the stage for WrestleMania 18, and I thought, are they going to take the scaffolding down after they build the set, and then that was it. So to go back to the beginning, I was thinking that I was essentially just not going to again watch WrestleMania this year. And this was for 100% transparency. This is the first ever year where I didn't even have a sliver of an interest.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a little, I wonder, because even last year you had, albeit it was horrible in execution, you had the Cody Cena thing. Is The Rock going to appear? Are we going to have another step to that story? Blah, blah, blah. Nothing this year. Brother says, I'm going to watch it. If you want to watch it, I'm going to put it on the TV. I said, sure, I'm here. I might as well, what stick it out, sure. And then it was so unbelievably bad that I thought, again, people are going to want to hear us cover basically the death of one of the major contributors to this this industry that we cover. So I'm going to talk a little bit about WrestleMania. We won't spend an hour on it, but
there wasn't no matches to talk about, so
that is correct. I recall before the main event started, I did check the match lengths, and of the 6 matches they had previously, they had just about hit an hour total. But in all the WrestleManias I have ever watched, I don't recall one as bad as this.
Okay.
And again, this is the thing. This is night 1, so this is, in a sense, half of a WrestleMania, right? But as an isolated show where you sit down and you watch for 4 hours a show, well, I mean, throw out some of the worst ones. I mean, 27, I know gets a lot of flack.
27 was legendary shit.
I don't think it was as bad as, or I think 27 was better than this show. Some of the 30s, I know we're not well regarded. 25 famously had a very bad main event. I think this main event was worse than 25's.
Oh, geez.
So I think, granted, you could go back and argue like fucking WrestleMania 2, and maybe some elements of that worse, but like I think the worst they've ever done this WrestleMania. So, so where to start? So they do a thing now where you I guess, because I didn't fucking do it, pull up the ESPN app. I guess on Netflix this is irrelevant, but in America you pull up your ESPN app and you get the first 2 matches for free. And if you want to watch the rest of the show, you have to shell out for whatever the PLE.
Yes. It was on ESPN proper in the States, like the television network. Yeah. And then the streaming gimmick had the rest of the show.
So I thought the whole show was going to be on the streaming gimmick. But no, as you say, they did a pre-show of sorts with the first 2 matches after their 3-hour kickoff show. Imagine having so little of a life that you would sit and watch that for 3 hours. Watch Sam Roberts, whether Cody will win.
3-hour pre-show, no matches,
with no matches. Yeah.
Just the 4 twats sat behind the desk going.
I think they had video packages and interviews and stuff.
We're better for the win. I think we did. Good Lord.
So the first 2 matches happen, right? There's only 7. Like I'll cover them briefly. You had the Usos. We opened with the Usos and LA Knight against the Vision and iShowSpeed, who is a famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
I have seen more effort put in an OTT like Justy match than these lads put in at WrestleMania. Not that I'm not about this. I was just picking like what was that Justy Jitsu match, for example? Like, yeah, these lads put no effort in whatsoever to have any kind of match, which had me thinking, like, from the point of view of your personal pride as a professional, for that to be what your whole year builds up to. Do you know what I mean? Mm. You build up and then you have your WrestleMania. Surely WrestleMania is where you go all out and you put in your best effort to have a really memorable match, whatever way it is memorable. I mean, you would say here, the YouTuber did a splash through the announce table. So none of the actual wrestlers had a memorable moment. But like the match itself had nothing to it at all. Barely a match. You then had, what was second? I don't remember. You had the Page return, obviously. Page is back in WWE. Oh, she won a belt immediately, as you do. Again, match, whatever. No, sorry. The second match was Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu in a non-sanctioned match. So obviously we're conditioned.
Wait a minute. So World Wrestling and him, TKO washed their hands of whatever.
I mean, this match didn't have a sponsor.
So okay, so that's pretty severe. So I'm assuming Jacob Fatu got the syringe out. They did the syringe spot. They did he set Drew McIntyre's hair on fire, and they gouged him with a broken light tube.
While I was watching, I did think McIntyre coming out with a sword, ballsy.
I cut Batu's head off.
No. They had a, they don't do the lights out gimmick. They don't do the lights are going down, lights going back. This was just a very, very tame hardcore. Which is, I was surprised because Drew McIntyre with the CM Punk feud had a very violent Hell in a Cell match. So I thought, well, they have it in them to do it. This match
that was kind of their exception to kind of prove I feel like that was them calling in every favor, especially because they had to do all the fucking bracelet shit and the angle was terrible. And I feel like they were just kind of like, you have to just let us go out there and do it this once. It's Hell in a Cell. Who cares? At WrestleMania, they're just too constrained. They're never going to be cool and have blood and guts on their show.
Well, not even blood, but just great
some level of violence.
Violence. Yeah, this was this one. You had the women's match, as I mentioned. You had Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship, got like 6 minutes.
Great.
It was a nothing match again. Gunther, Seth Rollins, people are fawning over as this was the banger match. Seth Rollins and Gunther had a 7 out of 10 match.
Yeah.
Which ended via interference from Braun Breaker, of course. So, it was okay. I mean, the fact that everything else was so bad, I guess, is why this is being buoyed.
I mean, the standards do lower. It gets graded on the most generous curve ever, although not generous enough for ESPN, I guess. But that's another.
Well, ESPN were on the ball with that. What other matches am I missing? You had and there was another women's match. I'm sure I'm forgetting what it was.
Becky AJ
again, mediocre.
A lot of heels also, though. Like they had Becky won, Liv won.
Yeah,
kind of surprising.
Becky Lynch's music was played live by a band called The Wonder Years, they lip synced very badly to it.
I did see the clip. I'm like, I don't know. I've never heard of this band. I don't know if they're a well-known band. I assume they're not. I assume they're the band who does Becky Lynch's theme song. I don't think were he still alive, John Lennon would be picking up the call to do that one. I imagine it's whatever shitters are around whenever Def Leppard, Def Rebel are not available. But so you're this know-nothing band. You got one decent gig, which is doing again. And by the way, don't correct me, listeners, if I'm wrong. I don't care who these people were. He's at WrestleMania, 50,000 people or whoever it is, hyping himself up. He's got his Cactus Jack shirt on, so presumably he's a fan to some degree, And the drummer there, and the dude's just looking around, soaking it all in, and then he starts singing over the speaker and he goes, oh shit, and grabs the microphone. It was not just in wrestling, it was an all-timer terrible lip syncing moment. He was so obviously caught off guard by his own singing coming through the speaker. Oh my goodness. It was brutal.
And then, as I said, the match was nothing. Throughout the show, by the way, you had no backstage segments of any kind, no video packages of any kind. But what you did have was an abundance of commercials.
Well, yeah, why waste time? Why waste time on backstage segments?
Yeah. You know what it was like? Imagine you went to a movie festival of short films, and between each short film, you had to sit through the 25 minutes of trailers.
Yeah.
And they'd play one movie and then the trailers would start again and you sit through those. Then another 10-minute movie plays and then you sit through 25 minutes trailers. It's very nice. You get a commercial, usually featuring a WWE superstar. Absolutely atrocious, of course. No joke or no charm to it, just nothing. And then it goes, we're in commercial break. Please stand by. And then they come back from commercial break with 2 commercials. And this is legitimately 5 minutes of nothing.
You know what WWE would be likely to do? I feel like they would actually implement this. You'll remember this fall years ago, the leaked patent from Microsoft for the Xbox Kinect, where this is great. You this is very dystopian. Xbox briefly tried to bundle in their little camera thing that you played motion games on with their thing, and it wasn't just for games purposes. They were doing all kinds of very cynical patents were leaking out about. One of them was you autoplay an ad on the console, and in order for the user to skip it, they have to have the camera installed, and they have to stand up and say McDonald's if it's a McDonald's ad, and raise their hands to get the ads. WWE would do that. You know that company that sends you a free TV, but it has a mandatory ad bar at the bottom? I don't even know if they're still in business. WWE would send one of those. Like, we'll send you a television that's pre-installed with ads, and you stand up and yell, "I love WWE," and Premier Insurance, or whatever the fuck, All American Beer.
But the problem is that a lot of WWE fans wouldn't be able to stand up, and two, pronounce insurance correctly.
We say that these people are paying fucking $5,000 to go to this show, so they've obviously got supposed to link up that advertise do so much.
There's like kids in the front row as well. Oh, my trust fund children. So anyway, I suffered through this show of the most mediocre, quote unquote, wrestling. I mean, this is the thing, right? Before we get to the main event, this is the thing. This isn't a wrestling.
No,
this is not a wrestling show. It's something else now. It's entrances. I mean, we've made, but on WrestleMania even more so. It's entrances, and it's ads, and it's patting themselves on the back.
Celebrities showing up.
Well, celebrities in inverted commas. They went, the celebrities are outside, and it was three footballers and Stephen A. Smith, who's like a sponsor.
Fucking twat.
There were no.
Whoa. They had all the Kill Tony guys there who did another Mania special. Where they go like, guys, how gay is SmackDown? Am I right? We're on, guys, in this house. Am I right? Yeah. $5,000, please, for a ticket to this as well.
Yeah. There were no celebrities at WrestleMania. Let's clarify that.
No.
And so, as I said, it's not wrestling. It's not a wrestling show anymore. It is almost like the wrestling is there to facilitate the ads, as opposed to the other way around. It feels more like a Comic-Con or it feels like you're watching a service to be sold product, as opposed to the wrestling show itself being the product that you're consuming. Very, very strange experience. And then we come to the main event, which was just absolutely abysmal. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. The entrances take about 25 minutes. Randy Orton, you've never seen a man walk slower. I've seen some people on my way to the shops, old men
dragging their feet,
walkers of glacial pace. And Cody Rhodes the same.
Cody Rhodes had the mannequins.
Mannequins, which were...
He'd have been better off wrestling them, to be fair.
Anyway, the match doesn't even start. What happens is McAfee gets put through the table by Jelly Bean, with the least athletic elbow we've seen since CM Punk threw at the spot. And then McAfee gets wheeled out, and the match actually begins. Again, this is like a good 30 minutes since Orton started making his entrance, before the match actually begins. They have the slowest, most methodically paced and worked match. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking Diesel in his first year.
Okay.
No urgency to it, no excitement to it. And then Orton goes, be back. Be back's gone. So he's working now, doing the sore back gimmick. He's watching his Kenny Omega tapes. He's watching his Ospreay tapes. You got to sell the shit out of that back, even if there's no means the excitement of the match is lowered even more. And then Orton blades for, again, no reason. I want to say it was 20 minutes into the 22-minute match where there was the first finisher was hit and a pinfall attempted. And that was the first... my heartbeat went above 60 for the first time. 20 minutes into the match. It was an absolute slog where I swear not a thing happened. They, you imagine you're playing No Mercy and you're not using any stomps, punches, chin locks. It was the most exaggerated version of what people consider the like bad old WWE style to be.
Right. Yeah.
Then McAfee comes back down because after having been stretchered off, Jelly Roll is just, I guess, is this?
So he dusted his head and but my work here is done.
Yeah. I don't know. That went back to his planet.
The recording studio. He makes music. Whatever.
So McAfee comes out in the referee's shirt and goes to count a pin for Orton. 1, 2, and Cody kicks. And you think, okay, we're gonna have. If I know my WWE like I think I do, they're gonna have someone else come out, probably not Jerry Ross, someone exciting. Someone else come out to even the odds in Cody's favor. And then WWE thought, oh, you think you know WWE? When you think you know the answers, we change the questions. And so they had Orton RKO McAfee for no reason whatsoever. And
Did they try
just beat him.
Did they try and justify that at all?
I mean, the commentators went, oh, he was mad that McAfee didn't count the pin or something. But like McAfee was clearly on his side trying to get him to win the match. That's why he ran out with a referee shirt on. Orton hits him with an RKO. Cody hits him with a single crossroads for the 1, 2, 3. And that was it. And then after the match, Orton grabs the belt, hits Cody with the belt, and punts him. And stands over him with the belt that he just failed to win at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Like a Raw.
The whole thing was like a Raw.
So how it
was like a bad Raw. That is literally how it ended. Yeah.
So Cody didn't celebrate. It wasn't like Cody celebrating. It was
no, sir. No.
Orton getting his heat back.
Orton got his heat back after
they set up
20 heatless. Yeah. So I mean,
put this on Collision too. I mean, that's
this storyline.
That's what I'm skipping.
What a bust! What a bust! I mean, they did the whole McAfee thing, which people hated. They didn't pivot away from it because you would assume there is some storyline payoff to it. And then the match made not a lick of sense in the end. Like, again, these Triple H, okay, gets a lot of flack. Rightfully so. I don't know what the thinking is in terms of how this show was put together. Because presumably they are thinking WrestleMania main event. Granted, it's night one. I don't really consider it the main event. But your Cody match for WrestleMania, surely you're thinking 3-4 months out, here's the destination, let's figure out the journey. How is this where you arrive? Like, how is this the payoff to your road to WrestleMania, your WrestleMania season? This is like sloth, and no exaggeration. This is like the worst nonsense. I mean, talk about Marvel being like film snobs looking down their nose at Marvel. This is like
Marvel is
Sandler. This is like Troll 2 of wrestling. Do you know what I mean? This just
and it's another one of those. It's another one of those situations where like there can't even be there's always an excuse for Triple H. Oh, The Rock came along and inserted himself, and this year it's Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel wanted Pat McAfee involved. It's like, okay, but Ari Emanuel didn't book it so that Randy Orton turns on Pat McAfee at the finish of the match and costs himself the match and then ends the match. Yeah. Like that comes down to the guy with the pencil and the I believe from looking at WWE Unreal footage, 50 idiots in the room with him picking this stuff. It's like, I'm honestly like, if you've the clips I've seen of WWE Unreal, it looks like those scenes in classic Simpsons when the writers would write writers and they would make them the biggest geeks in the world as a little bit of self-satirizing. They're all just terrified buffoons. Look, it's
the funny thing is then WWE fans have hated it as well.
But there's a lot of fake Triple H hating going on at the moment. A lot of fake WWE hating from the people. I mean, it's just there'll be a record number of people watching those shitty ads talking about how little wrestling there is. Well, there's never wrestling on shows.
I don't think
this one seems worse, but
I don't think any behavior will change in terms of people won't be like, I ain't watching this anymore. I'm going to watch it. It'll be the old thing of they want WWE to be good while only exclusively watching WWE.
They want Vince back.
I want Vince. My moment of the night to sum it up for you. Moment of the night. Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Hall of Fame inductees for 2026 and all the plebs who aren't really important, including WrestleMania main eventer Sid Vicious. Please, rest in peace, Big Sid. They all just stand on the stage, and then you get the real main eventers come out with their music, right? So AJ Styles comes out, multiple-time world champion, haver of some of the greatest matches in history, comes out. And then the real main eventer comes out, Stephanie McMahon.
It is like when I heard she came out last, I was like, this is like, other than the fact that I'm certain she's the least self-aware person walking the face of this earth, I'm like, it borders on self-satire and parody, but I don't think she's ever self-satirized in her entire existence. No. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
That sums up to me the whole mindset of the show. I don't know who this is for. It's for people with tiny, tiny brains, and it's made by people with tiny brains.
There's plenty of them. You know, UFC's been in business for a long time, and will continue to be. And some of this rubbish.
I mean, but this to me is below UFC. Well, maybe.
I wonder who's making less for their streaming partner on their deal. I'd say it's probably close.
This is the thing, right? Who on that show last night is coming out of it thinking, "What a night! I really earned my money tonight." You know, like it was across the board bad. I mean, and look, if the mindset is it's a job and make your money, that's to an extent what it should be, right? We've criticized Mariah May and the like for like giving up more money for going to get your dream in WrestleMania. But like for this to be WrestleMania, I mean, this is getting weird. This is going to be one of the worst shows they do all year.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like telling a pop star like, "Oh, your music's shit." It's like they don't want to be musicians. They want to be stars. I don't think it matters.
They're more going to be like musicians, but
you would think of Cody Rhodes, who it's festival-y and to have a little to want to go out.
I think someone like a Cody, or even deep down like a CM Punk.
Orton does the same.
Well, I don't know Orton.
Well, Orton's he's a
third gen.
I mean, but they're all company guys. Cody especially. I mean, he is the second coming of Cena. He's a company guy.
Yes.
He might grumble about it to a certain degree, but when bell time is looming, he'll just say yes, sir. You know.
The nice thing is, Orton is the quintessential guy that all WWE wrestlers say is class. And I was watching last night. Granted, he's older than he used to be, but like this guy stinks.
Yeah,
is so boring.
Yeah, I also think like there is a contingent of not even just WWE fans. There's a contingent of fans that I think really overrate him because when he does turn it on and he has the right opponent, he can be really elite, and I do think he can be. But I'm sorry, lads, the ratio is not there. The ratio is not there. You can't keep talking to me about 2013 Bryan Danielson matches. You can't. Okay, I can't hear any more of it. Listen, we watched every episode of SmackDown in 2011 and gave him our Wrestler of the Year because he was great. That was sandwiched in the middle of his career, which has been brutal on either side. Do you know what I mean? He's
okay. Barry's internet went out mid-show, so we are back. Barry will be rejoining us momentarily. Anyway, Joe, we will go on. I think we've covered WrestleMania pretty good.
We'll be back next week with Wrestlemania Night 2, which Paul will also be watching in its entirety. Despite everything I've said. He'll be sick of that shit.
But I can skip the ads because I won't be watching it live. So I'll get through the whole thing in like 45 minutes. So
people say you can't skip the ads on Netflix now.
Yeah, but you can. You illegally download
that shit. I know, man. With regards to Netflix, I watched a bit of the Tyson Fury. Well, I watched the Tyson Fury fight. Yeah, and they did have unskippable like 3-minute ads during it.
Really?
Oh, fucking hell! This is like. Because it's one thing, like if you're watching on TV, you can just quickly change the channel and flick back. With Netflix, you always got to come out of the app, go and watch something else, go back into it. What a piss take! What a piss take! It's worse than pay-per-view used to be, I think.
I mean, that's the future that we've unfortunately set ourselves up.
Yeah.
I thought in the internet and AI was supposed to make us be like reclining in deck chairs on the beach while robots do all the work for us. No, it just makes life worse, it turns out. So that's WrestleMania anyway. Yeah, night one, big old pile of shit. I'll come back. I'll have night two thoughts by the time we speak next week.
Nice.
Speaking of clueless regimes ruining their own output. Arsenal FC looking your way. Ooh, making the league a bit more exciting for everybody. I was watching the Arsenal City game, and it had very WrestleMania vibes. What is happening to Arsenal? I was looking at the table from just 3 weeks ago. Arsenal 9 points clear.
Yeah.
The word bottled is thrown a lot, Joe.
I don't know
Do you think it's bottled?
I don't think it's bottle. I think they're just not very good. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, they're really good, but they just can't, like, you know, they've not got the courage or they've not got the fire. I just thought they were shit. They're not a very good team. They've just sort of accidentally found themselves top of the league, and then they've been found out. You know, the set pieces have dried up. They don't have any, free play kind of creativity or goals. And so, you know, City, as they often do, they sometimes leave it late. And you think they're not going to be up there, and then, boom, end of the season, they make a late push for it. And I think that's what's happening. I mean, they've got 5 games, right? It's now almost a straight shootout between who can win those 5 and score the most goals. So that's what it comes down to. So if Arsenal won it, they can still do it. They can hope City slip up, or they can just win, try and score goals. But then how do they go from, you know, set piece merchants to free flowing goals? They've got the player. I mean, have they got the players? They've got some good attacking players. They don't have a decent striker. You've got Kai Havertz and Gyökeres as your striker. God, like, you know what I mean? Where are the goals? I would say United's front attacking lineup is far superior to Arsenal's. If I had to pick between Fernandes, Cunha, Boemo, Seshko, Ahmad, you know, I'm picking those boys over whatever Arsenal have got. Yeah.
I mean, I do have to sort of consider it bottling. I do think Arsenal at the start of the season had really nailed whatever their formula was, right? I mean, they were beating Bayern Munich in the Champions League. They were beating everybody. They were not conceding goals. They had it nailed down. And for whatever reason, that uncanny ability to shut up shop and just not concede any goals and not let any teams in, that ability just has evaporated in recent weeks. Maybe there's a mental element to it. I think you're right in that the front line has been a problem all season. Really, their dependence on goals from set pieces, as you say, something that's also dried up lately, and maybe that's why we're seeing this run they're on lately. But I mean, at the start of the season, they were unbeatable. They were, and because of their defense primarily. But like, I would think back to those Champions League games, they're just they handily beat Bayern Munich, you know. And now you look at their Champions League run in, like Atletico Madrid are probably going to beat them the way they're playing lately, you know. But yeah, the match today, Arsenal very much second best, very much, you know. And again, if you think back to the first time these teams played this season, Arsenal felt a lot more confident, had a bit of swagger about them. This was very much Arsenal, little timid, little Arsenal, little frog man. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't play against me. You know, this was not a team who were puffing their chests out and saying, right, come on, beat us if you can. You know, City beats pretty happily in the end. So I mean, look, I think I say they did bottle it. I mean, I think they were so far ahead in the league. They had a certain play style that they sort of stopped working, which again is for them to figure out. They got knocked out of the cup by Southampton. They lost the League Cup final to City, and Champions League is looking like something they're really going to have to. I mean, the fact that they have to split their time now between Champions League and Premier League would really, the ideal scenario for them would be to focus on one or the other. I feel like they need to focus on the league more so than Champions League, because I think they have a better shot. Even granted, the result today didn't go the way, but I still think they have a better shot of winning the Premier League than they do of winning Champions League as it stands currently.
Fair. I mean, it's only 3 games. Well, 2 games and the Champions League is at the end of the season anyway. So I don't. What would they sacrifice? The Atletico Madrid games? I don't think that's like. I think those are winnable for them. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll win. Maybe this will be.
Maybe they'll win something.
I don't think City are going to lose to fucking Burnley. Burnley are absolutely
hammered by Nottingham Forest today.
Trash.
But I think, again, they've lost Saka as well. Saka's who is their most important player and has been injured quite a bit this season. But I just don't see that team, as you said, with the players they have at the front, having enough to beat Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich, whatever teams they may yet against Champions League. I don't think they have it. I don't think they're good enough. Barring some sort of phenomenal turnaround, and in a single game,
that's one thing.
Anything can happen.
You don't have to be good in the final. You know what I mean? You can just win.
Good enough.
We'll see.
Yes. So all the stuff that seemed nailed on early in the season is now looking very like we're going to have actually an exciting run in. Arsenal City duking out for the title. Will Tottenham survive? Tottenham obviously have dropped into the bottom 3 now for the first time. The West Ham game tomorrow is going to be very important, because if Tottenham fall more than 3 points behind, which would be the case if West Ham lose tomorrow, then they need 2 wins at least to jump back out. And this is a team who has not won a game.
No, how did they?
So they would need a revival similar to what Leicester City had the season before they won the league, where they just need to win their last 5 games. All of them, or 4. But then they have Villa to play, who won earlier. Chelsea to play. That's kind of a much for muchness. That could go either way. They have Wolves away next, and that's the one that I think they need to treat like their Champions League.
Their cup final. Yeah.
If they don't beat Wolves, you will not be able to get a bet on them to be relegated. I think if they don't beat Wolves, that's it. If they beat Wolves, they have a chance. I think it comes down to that game. That's that. If they're going to get wins, the other games are tougher. That's the one where they need to get. But we will see. And going to win for United as well. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't play for the But that Rosinier fella is an absolute cod.
Jesus.
He won't be at Chelsea this time next come August, he won't be at Chelsea.
It could be summer move there. I don't think they'll wait.
That's a mad one that he was brought in on a 6-year deal or whatever it was.
Yeah, and that's all financial engineering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Write it off over 6 years. Or
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea are weird because they've spent so much money, similar to Liverpool, spent so much money on golf, rather than serious players. And Liverpool, I think Liverpool with their win today, I will say that they are nailed on for Champions League football next year, which I think means that Slot will stay. I think that was his benchmark. He needed to. So I think he'll still be there come start next season. Would be my prediction. Okay, we do have a little bit of AEW news. By God, we will come to obviously spring breakthrough. We'll talk about Big Darb, which again, I mean, we'll come to it. But I remember it's big. I remember us having a conversation where you and Barry were sort of sniffy about the chances of Darby ever winning the world title. And I was very kind of...
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I like that.
I'll throw the last 3 months of CSP into Notebook LM.
Please do, because
Firing the instances of Barry and Joe say Darby will never win the world title, and Paul saying, "Oh, I think
I
you will."
never said that. Well, we'll come to
You're Darby. Okay, maybe it was Barry. Barry's not here, so let's.
I traded him in my fantasy team on the basis that I thought he was going to win the world title this year, or at least be in there. At least have
In the mix.
good shots at it. Yeah.
This might have been towards the end of last.
It's probably all Barry.
Earlier.
Barry, blame me.
It was always all Barry. So we'll come to that. But AEW Redemption is seemingly the latest generically named AEW show. Talk is that it's going to be a pay-per-view, and looking at the calendar, the only spot where there's a month without a show currently penciled in would be July. So this will be the Joe Towner birthday extravaganza.
I've seen that mentioned, but it's a bit soon, I think, is everything. Because then they're already promoting obviously All In. You've got a June pay-per-view. I suppose if they announce it very soon, but it's pretty quick, isn't it?
Well, I mean, All In's a different beast because it's Wembley and it's however many tickets. Like that has always gone on sale very early compared to other shows.
So would it be to July?
They just announced Forbidden Door
It's 3 months.
They just announced Forbidden Door in June. This week gone.
That's true.
So
May, June. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe it's July. It should be fine, I think. Kind of like they keep the start of the year free as like an unofficial like off season.
Yeah.
And then March through December is like pay-per-view season.
yeah, that's what they've done to start. I'll tell you my nitpick of all of this. We did a quiz last week, and one of the questions was Fall Brawl, SummerSlam. I don't remember what the exact ones I had as they were, but it was like pay-per-views that are to do with the specific time of year. We had like New Year's Revolution or something.
Right.
I don't like that AEW doesn't have a time of year show. All the names are just generic.
Yes. Well, World's End.
Is what?
End of
Yeah,
the
the
year.
year. What's it called? Years?
World's End.
The world doesn't end.
I feel like it's kind of thematic. End of the season, end of the world sort of thing.
I mean, that's as close as they get anyway.
Wow,
I like them to have summer sausage and autumn aggression.
Valentine's Day.
That's it.
Valentine's Day Rumble. Pancake.
Granted, they've done St. Patrick's Day Slam, whatever it was. That was like a Dynamite. But they don't do that really every year. I don't think we had one this year. But we could have a little, I mean, Redemption. Does that fill you with a nostalgia for the days of the NWA, or is that Redemption to me is nothing? That's just
it's
AEW poo. AEW. That's the name of the show. You know,
these are very like E-Fed names that Tony probably would have used.
Right.
He was doing E-Fed, which, to be fair, I'm trying to think back to my E-Fed days. I had, not one that I ran, but one I was part of, the IWF, International Wrestling Federation. We had Saturday Night Fever.
very good.
It's a good one. What else was it? Either Tuesday or Thursday Night Meltdown.
Very good.
What was the other one? There was another Friday. Fuck, what was it? So like lightning or something like lightning? I can't quite remember. It was a thunder, so
Thunderish.
yeah, weather rip-off. We had some quite good pay-per-view names. I remember one of the pay-per-view was called Standing Room Only, which is quite a cool name.
That's
kind of like ECW-esque, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Standing Room Only.
Yeah.
Of course, you do have to sell that one out, otherwise it's a bit embarrassing. If it's like,
Just have no seats.
yeah, just have a very small venue. Yeah, Redemption. I'm sure they can come up with some, I don't know, maybe they'll evolve these
It's a big
rules that like the WWE has, but
Well, I'll tell you my EFED. I don't remember any of the TV names, but I remember the first pay-per-view I built to was called Uprising.
Oh,
which is again, that's a bit that's in the Redemption ballpark, and that's a bit
yeah.
without personality. Like I like a pay-per-view. Like when I'm reading my Superstars of Wrestling compendium from 1994, and all the names of the shows are, as I said, themed, and AEW's aren't. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It's Barry.
What a perfect time for my internet to go down. I mean, I was sitting around scratching my arse for like 2 hours before this podcast.
Close out our WrestleMania talk.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Where are we, boys?
Well, let's do a little bit of life guff, and then we'll move into our features. So for the 9 millionth time, I'm getting onto an exercise kick. Ladies and gentlemen, I was got my haircut.
Here he comes.
That's kind of life guff. I got my haircut. I'm rocking the Dean Ambrose 2019 look.
Okay.
Where it's starting to creep up there, but it's hard to get away with it for another. When did Moxie shave his head? 2023.
So when he came back from rehab?
No, he still had hair when he came back from rehab.
Oh,
It was a year after that, or so, a few months after that. So I'll probably have until 2029, and then I'll start rocking the Moxley, full Moxley. Like, I'll also be all shredded like Moxley.
oh yeah.
I guess I'm eating those burgers. But I've made a proper exercise plan. Because the thing, right, we're getting on diet kicks and exercise kicks is, unless you make a strict plan to stick to, there's very little accountability, right? You go, start fucking jogging again, and you jog on a Monday, and you jog on a Thursday, and then you forget to do it over the weekend, and then you just not do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a full 2-month plan written out. Each day, exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing exercise 6 days a week and 1 day off. And I'm doing my workout with my dumbbells one day, jog the next day, dumbbells the following day, jog the day after, dumbbells, jog the day off. So I'm going back and forth between running and weight training, and then having a day off. So I've done 4 days, and I've had my day off today, and then I'm going to do the 2 final days, and then circle back to the front. So the idea with the jogging is to build up to running 10Ks again.
Nice.
So you slowly build up over the course of 12 weeks.
Sure.
So the first 3 weeks is just basically running 3K runs until you could do that very comfortably. And then week 4, you start to slowly build it up. Do that for 3 weeks, slowly build it up. And then week 12, you're doing a 10K run. So long story short, I had my little, because I have 2 10-kilogram dumbbells. Decently heavy, not crazy heavy, but decently heavy. So I was doing my goblet squats with them, where you hold it like, where are those little shake lights?
Oh, yeah.
So you hold it like that, and you're doing your deep squats. And then the next day you're going for a 3-kilometer run, and then you're doing deadlifts with the dumbbells. So long story short, did that for 4 days. And my quadriceps were so sore to the point where I couldn't lower myself onto the toilet properly, and had to go 45 degrees and then let gravity take care of the rest. Further, hope you land onto the seat because you're risking an injury. I hit the toilet with the old bonsai drop, so to speak. Yokozuna style.
God damn. People were complaining about my toilet story last week.
Hey,
but
I'm only talking about sitting on a device. I'm not talking about any bodily functions like Barrett. While I was eating my dinner, by the way, let's not forget about that. But already 4 days in. Now, granted, 4 days, you're not going to see a huge bodily revision, but I'm feeling good. 4 days in. So we'll keep it up, and come all in, I'm going to be like I'm going to be looking like MJ.
Oh,
I won't have the hair fixed. Well, the body will be looking like MJ. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's what I've been doing all week. Woke up yesterday morning, straight into the weights. In my undies. And then I was able to enjoy the rest of the day. Okay, let's get to the fantasy update. Okay.
hey.
Ooh. Joe Towner, in 1 week, he's got about half of my total points for the year.
Yeah.
All he needed was a fucking world title win as well, wasn't it? That's all he needed. So Joe, points for the week, 132.
Just for this.
Dynamite.
132 points.
Compared to my 36 and Barry's 60.
Hooray! I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so the points as it stands currently, I'm on 336, Barry 442, and Joe 535. So we are kind of evenly spaced.
Yeah,
That was
Joe's
fair
running
play.
away
Barry
with
is
those.
He is. So we need to.
all to play for.
It is all to play for. Listen, it's only 8 now. It's only 8.
Yeah, we've had 2
Osprey.
PVs so far.
You got Osprey. He's gonna pick up steam. Hangman Page will be back. Takeshi's probably gonna beat Okada.
What was Melty on about, by the way? He gave 1 5-star match. It was the Bucks tag match. What?
Yeah.
What was that about? I was thinking Osprey was going to give you some sweet points for that one.
Joe did not get the bonus for that, by the way, because Jackson
Okada.
is not on his team.
For Okada.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. For Okada and Takeshi, you both did, but for Matt Jackson was not on the team. That match happened, so I've not.
Only the 2 people. Oh,
Correct. Well, no, you have
got
Takeshi there, Barry.
oh yeah.
None for me. All my lads are not as good as them, I guess. That must be what it was.
I mean, it must be.
I would have given, for the record, the Divine Dominion 8 stars.
Just
Even for the
them
match,
or for their
stars.
match?
Yeah. Just, did they have a match? I don't even know. So that's where we stand in the Fantasy League. Still waiting for Mercedes to appear. And one thing about Collision this week was a lot of my boyos had video packages.
Yeah.
Too many video packages, not enough matches, Tony. Do you want to get Bandito in the ring, maybe?
Yeah.
Minion.
That bone's low. That means they're gonna be good wrestling.
I mean, it was Divine Minion and Bandito, so hopefully they'll.
Joe's trying to maintain some semblance of drama for this.
It could go anyway. Probably not, but yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I think Team Barry has a world title win coming their way this year. I think Osprey will win the world title this year. I don't really doubt it.
Yeah.
Plus 5-star bonuses. Takeshi's, I think, going to be Okada. So that'll be a 15-point swing in Barry's direction as well. Claudio, I don't think is going to do much, to be honest. Pack either. Speedball, I can see Speedball holding a mid-tier title as well, similar to what Kevin Knight has done.
Yes.
But then on the other hand, John Moxley is going to wrestle about 80 more times and probably win every match.
Yeah.
Moxley is more and more like in this era, more and more like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Where he just wrestles the whole time. Him and Kevin Knight, 19 matches each, 3 more than anyone else. Anyway, yeah, I'm thoroughly getting memed on here, which is crazy that I had the first draft pick. Remember that?
Yeah, extra embarrassing. It was extra embarrassing.
Extra. Hey, I'm owning it. Don't worry. I don't know what's going on with this team. My God. Atrocious stuff. Like, my top 3 wrestlers have less points than Kevin Knight. 3 of them combined. Okay, that is our Fantasy League. Barry, do you want to hit us with Chad Stable V3?
Yeah. We got Chad Stable here. Everyone should know the rules from the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
So to jump straight into it, I hope you boys have sharpened your mental blades, in particular you, Paul, because Joe got it in 1 last week.
Sorry. Was he getting a 0?
Yeah. Joe,
guessed before.
Joe, your blades, Joe.
Former tag team champions.
No. All right, you start with the guesses and you go.
Okay. Can I have Will Ospreay?
No.
Chris Jericho.
No.
And this is still 2 different categories.
You guys have 2 different categories, so you're only keeping track of your own.
Val Venus.
No.
The Undertaker.
Yes.
Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Chris Jericho, not Chris Jericho. Sid Vicious.
Yes.
Booker T.
Wait, can I guess?
You can guess, Joe, yeah?
Hall of Famers, WWE Hall
Yeah.
of Famers.
Yeah. Paul, what was your guess?
Booker T.
No.
Okay.
I was going to make a cup of tea.
Kurt Angle was a yes.
Yes, Kurt Angle. Ospreay was a no.
Jeff Jarrett.
No.
I was thinking maybe it would be like a TNA Hall of Fame or TNA equivalent. So no Ospreay, Val Venis, Booker T, Jeff Jarrett. But Kurt Angle, yes.
Kurt Angle.
Not Will Ospreay though. What's Kurt Angle got that they don't have? Because I was originally thinking with Val Venis, I was going like European champion.
Yeah, I could see that.
Intercontinental champion is no. King of the Ring winners, I was thinking. That's why I went Booker T after Kurt Angle as well. Kurt Angle.
Just throw some names. No,
Yeah. Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Oh,
Jeff Hardy.
Triple H.
Yes.
John Cena.
Yes.
Could just be WWE champions.
Yes.
I'll guess it. Is it wrong?
Yes. It is WWE Championship.
Okay.
The mainline WWE Championship. There you go. All right, we'll bin that. And
His get is wrong.
I think they could be harder, but then obviously
they could be harder. I've tied them into various things that are going on because I don't want them because the great expanse of wrestling means it can be anyone. I've tried to make it, but maybe I'll do it once more. I'll make it a bit more challenging for both. And I won't do some kind of tie into the current week's news to make it a little bit more tough. But I'm also conscious of doing one of those quizzes that goes for an hour.
Yeah. If you have it be slightly harder, and maybe after 10 guesses, if we don't have, we can
I'll give you a hint or something. Yeah, I'll give you a couple of guys.
Oh, better, yeah, a guy to put us there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alrighty, we've talked enough about bad wrestling. Let's talk about some great wrestling. Let's talk about a great episode of AEW Dynamite.
Oh yeah, baby.
From where is this?
Oh, we have some just quickly some sad
Breaking news. Yeah.
WCW wrestler Van Hammer passes away at 66.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
66 only? Jesus.
I know. I mean, the thing is, if you say to me 66 only, for me, it seems like he was wrestling 66 years ago.
Yeah.
So he must have been like very young.
Yeah.
You forget how young these guys are when we were kids. You know what I mean? They weren't all 40. They were all like 21 and on TV. It wasn't like now where you have to be 50 to get that fucking push.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually didn't wrestle that long. I was just reading that. I think it was mainly kind of 91 to 95. He got a big push with this kind of rock star gimmick. I guess, who's the guy like, not Bon Jovi, the... Van Halen, I think. Van Halen inspired. He had a big,
of course.
Mick Foley wrote about it in his book. This guy got a big music video and it's a big push. So it wasn't very long though, just a few years, and then I think he came back briefly during the start of the Attitude Era, and that was it. I don't think he really wrestled anywhere notably outside of that. But someone who I definitely remember, because when I first started watching WCW on Saturday afternoons, that was when he was getting his big push. I was like, Van Hammer, yeah. Oh, wow, that's clearly good. Look, he's got a guitar. I mean, he must be the star. Very cool. Yeah, so that's really sad, but yeah, I saw the news broke by Mark Miro. So,
yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. All right, rest in peace to the Hammer there at 66. We'll get into TV now for the week. AEW from Washington, Everett, Washington. Good venue, good crowd for this one. The story of this show was that they had announced the Darby MJF match on the pay-per-view, but MJF did like a social media exclusive thing where they tried to tell him about it, and he was like, I'm not talking to you, and I'm throwing my phone away, and I'm going offline until Dynamite because I'm too happy, which I thought that was a good bit. So she's waiting for him to arrive. He shows up like it's the Attitude Era. He shows up after the show starts. And she's trying to talk to him. And basically the gist of this is that he finds out he has to defend his world title. Darby Allin goes to the ring for the opener. He comes out, he's incensed. He's saying, no, I wasn't aware. This is bullshit, blah-de-blah. Darby cuts like his like teary, like choking up promo about how important this is to him right here in the opener to set up the main event, which was interesting. He kind of let it all hang out. MJF did the usual stuff about Darby, you know. So they're going back and forth, and he's saying he's going to sue everyone if he has to do this match. And eventually, the commentators think Danielson was the one who broke the news. He was the one who got the TK voice in the ear and basically said, "Oh, we actually agree with MJF." So he gets to prepare during this show because it's the main event. So everyone cheers. So there you go. It's a good segment.
Got an email from the Dynamite general manager.
Oh, there's a callback.
I thought it was very good. I thought Darby's promo especially.
Darby was great.
Unlike what he typically delivers. Not that
I kind of like his promos. You know.
No, but I mean, this was different. Is my
Yeah, it's good. Different but good. I liked it. The whole thing with MJF, like, I've been on social media, I've been on a blog. It was a bit hokey, but I think they could have just telegraphed it a bit more on the show of like, I'm going on a social media blackout or whatever. It was a bit like, I'm wrestling tonight. That whole thing. It's like, come on, you must have signed a contract to like do it or did that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Anyway, who cares?
So that was that. We got some post Dynasty footage of Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay in the trainer's room. This was a great show for lads. It's bloody okay to be a bloody bloke and have an old cry, lads, and get in touch with your emotions. That's actually class. Have a pint with your lads and talk about how it's good to have a cry. So you had Darby crying in the opener, and then you had this. This was really good though. So Kenny Omega's like limping into the trainer. Ospreay's already in there. He's all beat up. These are, we saw Ospreay at the pay-per-view very sadly, meekly limping off. And Kenny was basically the gist of this. So I wouldn't be able to do it justice. This is we got a lot of bad Kenny, a lot of goofy Kenny in the run up to the pay-per-view, but this was Kenny on. And he was just sitting there looking like a sad old dog. He's like, don't think I can do it anymore. And Ospreay was like not hearing that. He was so mad. He was all beat up, but he was like, I saw you lose to Okada in 2017.
No, mate. No, we're going to go for a pint of bitter and it's all right, mate. Don't worry about it. I saw you beat Okada. You fucking go, mate.
Ospreay told him he's his hero, and Omega shook his head and said, maybe there's still a chance, which was very corny, but the segment was good enough that he made it work.
I remember shit in this segment as well, to be honest.
He looked knackered. He looked absolutely exhausted.
Just his face was gone and gone.
Yeah.
Fucking
he's so pale as well.
They shoot these backstage, and I kind of like it, to be honest. It's the way they shoot these backstage segments at the pay-per-view. I don't know if if they're using different cameras or if they're just editing it to look slightly different, but it looks a bit more raw than when they go backstage and they're standing in front of the AEW video screen, and it looked a bit more like they actually had a behind the scenes
lighting and all set up.
Yeah, like they were doing some very quick, brief guerrilla filming to kind of catch these moments. It was nicely done. It was nicely done.
I thought it was a really, really great double hitter with the Darby promo and this promo. I thought were both excellent. I do have a very small nitpick, though.
Go on.
They do this really great, realistic promo. Ospreay and Omega, I'm talking about. And Ospreay delivers the go-home line and wanders off. And then you just have Omega sit there. You can see he's pondering over what Ospreay has said. Cut back to Excalibur. But Omega has to go, I'm your hero, huh? So maybe I do still, he had to basically say what the theme was.
Promo was? Yeah.
And then he said it like 3 times as well. He said it like repeatedly.
He said it a couple of, yeah.
I think you didn't need that at the end of it.
And that you know what, that strikes me as a Kenny thing as well. I'm not sure if they were told, Kenny, you need to hammer this. It kind of strikes me as his instinct to do that. But
in Final Fantasy, they would do it like this. But it was really good. Don't get me wrong. Really, really.
Do we Did you get the sense from this that this is the Wembley match?
Possibly.
I mean, because even though they were confiding in each other, it didn't feel to me like that the gist was we'll team up. It didn't seem like they were doing that. It kind of made it seem like we're going to do more of a babyface.
Yeah.
Will. It would be weird for Will to go into Wembley as champion. It's increasingly feeling like he's not going to win it at Wembley, but I feel like we're leading to Will is the champion. Kenny is going in, trying to prove he still can do it, and Will has to old yeller him, you know.
Yeah. Well, my only alternative to that would be: is it the final of the Owen? Like, do Owen?
It's a very Owen.
Like both these guys are like, wow, we got one more shot.
Oh yes.
I don't have anything more like anything. Yeah.
I think that was that
better in a way, 'cause it's like. Yeah, Ospreay kind of being like, sorry, goddamn it. I know you said you could still do it, but this is my time.
I gotta put you down.
I think that's better. I think that's because I think that the psychology should be Ospreay chasing going into Wembley. That should be your dynamic. So yeah, I like that.
A Mega Ospreay would be a big match. I just don't see it. I think you need a big heel at Wembley. I think you need MJF.
I think it's
got to be Ospreay beating a heel. It can't. If it's him versus Kenny. People love Kenny. AEW fans love Kenny. It doesn't matter how old he is, how shit he looks. He can still wrestle, and they love him no matter what. So it has to be MJF for me. If Ospreay's winning, it's got to be MJF.
The interesting problem they have is that Darby is the champion now.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the AEW fan base reacts to this, because I think it's classic booking, but I don't know how their fan base are going to like it when you consider how upset some of them get, like when Hangman loses and stuff like that. I mean, the classic booking here is Darby should have lost it on Collision if I was in charge, to be honest. Because to me, he's the
magnum.
Not to derail it, but I he so rarely puts the boot in like this, because he is very diplomatic. Meltzer was explicit, like he's not the guy. I wouldn't have put it on him. He's a mid-card guy. Like, he was really unapologetically you know, it can't always be on the number one guy, but it can't be on, you know, sometimes it can be on the 3 or the 4 guy, but it can't. I was kind of shocked by that. But that was just as an aside. But I do think I do think he's not he holds it for 6 months and goes into Wembley. He's not that guy. I think like Kingston, he can have his fleeting moment in the sun, but I think his character is such that
I think he's Mick Foley. I think he loses
100%
in New York. I think that's a double or nothing. Yeah. MJF wins it back.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Tony would be cutthroat enough to do it like on Dynamite. You know, I think he'll get to the next pay-per-view, but. It was interesting though. Like, they posted it. Go check out that clip of Observer Radio of Dave talking about it, because it's so rare that he gets so explicit. Because I'm sure he's not saying because he likes Darby. I'm not saying he's saying Darby's a shit wrestler, but he was so unapologetically like he's not a top guy like that, and they shouldn't put the title on him, which I was surprised by.
I couldn't see his point though.
I probably, like, it was a great moment. We'll get to it. It was. I probably wouldn't have. To me, he's the lifelong chaser.
No, I mean, I think you could put the belt on him, but I see Meltzer's point that insofar as if Meltzer thinks that you should not put the title on someone outside the top 4 or 5, by that logic, I would not consider Darby one of those. But Darby, as you said, a Mick Foley, or, you know, someone who's just been around near the top for so long, that the crowd have an inherent. Jeff Hardy. I mean, ironically, Jeff Hardy was similar in that sense, where Jeff Hardy was not really a top guy, but had that connection.
Oh, I don't know. By the time he got it, though, I think he was. I think another, actually, because I think he didn't make these names, but I think Meltzer also he made some of the kind of like the gold watch thing, like, you know, which. As much as people loved it, I mean, people said that about Benoit and Eddie in 2004. They were like, yeah, they're great, but you're doing it out of respect to them rather than you are the top guy, so you get the belts. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah, I think when Wembley rolls around, it'll be MJF, and whether it's soon or Double or Nothing or anything else, I think, yeah. And I like the Owen idea, because also I think Owen needs a little bit of juice, you know, as well.
To me, it's not much different than like Samoa Joe in the world title. I mean, AEW's model is slightly different in that AEW don't have a classic 4 or 5 top guys. They have like 15,
right,
or whatever, you know, at any given time. So, just people think Danielson, maybe you could consider one else for a similar reason. But yeah, I don't anticipate Darby having a very long time either. Because I do think going into Wembley, you almost need to have, unless you're doing a babyface world title match, which we've already kind of covered, I think you have to have a heel going in, again, a heel champion against a babyface challenger, rather than a babyface champion defending against a heel challenger. I don't think would work.
Yeah, we had, they're keeping, one of the themes of this show is, and it's kind of been the theme for the last couple of months, they're keeping up this idea that like there's like 1 million people going for the world title, which I do really like. I think that's the thing I liked about AEW in the last couple of months. Tommaso Ciampa beat Desmond Xavier of the Rascals. It was good fun. Solid TV match. The usual good stuff from Ciampa. He's been really good so far. He got on the mic, said he was going to be watching the main event very closely, so there you go. And later on, they did announce Ciampa versus Darby for Wednesday.
Yeah,
in a title match, not even an eliminator, which also tips the hand that they're taking it off this guy soon. They didn't even put him in an eliminator. They're giving him this defenses straight away so that when he loses, they can say, okay, he defended it twice or something, you know, so he didn't lose it straight away.
Yeah, that's correct.
Did a video on the headlock takeover. Darby referenced it in the opener, so they did a video on it, which is good. There you go. Had a rare heel promo where they just came out and they said their bit and there was no interruption and they left. FTR came out and it wasn't to set up on this day. Wait a second, you think you were finished? It was. They came out. They talked their shit. They said Copenhagen will never get another shot, which was interesting. Obviously, that's not any kind of stiff that they lost or anything. That's just them saying it. Basically just beat their chest and all this other stuff and said Tony Khan was going to have to go to CMLL in New Japan to try and get some teams they haven't beaten yet. So there you go. And that was it. There was no Copenhagen. There was no Young Bucks. It was just, which I kind of like, because I think
I like it.
We're kind of sick of the tropes. So sometimes it's nice that when people come out for promo, they just get to do their promo and then leave, you know.
That's the thing. I mean, we're conditioned to expect a promo to end up as a conversation, at least an in-ring promo, let's say. But I mean, I feel like that should nearly be the minority of the time.
Yes, yeah.
That a promo gets interrupted, you know? It's a little bit more dynamic, sure, but if we'll hear from FTR should mean they come out and say their piece, that's fine, you know, it doesn't need to be always interrupted. AEW especially had a problem with interviews always being interrupted, especially backstage interviews, as you were. That became a bit of a meme. I feel like they've kind of moved away from that as well in regards to the backstage.
So we then had a great TV match. The Jet, Kevin Knight, defeated Claudio Castagnoli. I mean, this is great. I mean, this is one of those things that kind of speaks to AEW's general overall quality, that like, if you were to take this match and just like fling it back to an episode of TV we watched in 2010 when we started doing this, just blow away some of the stuff we were watching on pay-per-view actually, and it's just a TV match these days on this show. Really good. Claudio, just the perfect guy to be in there with someone like Kevin, like they obviously really like and want to become something. Beat Claudio Kliński, no messing, which was again good. I mean, Claudio is obviously not like a former world champion, but they don't beat Claudio every single week. They protect him to a respectable degree. This is good stuff. And then Kevin Knight got on the mic. They didn't really rest. He mentioned that the Speedball was beating himself up after not winning the match, but no major follow up on that kind of little side eye they had at the pay-per-view. But basically he just kind of did a rah-rah promo, and then he also said that he was keeping his eye on MJF and Darby, so that will presumably be like maybe a collision match next week, but following week's Dynamite.
Sure.
Jericho comes out to chat to Renee. This, of course, did get the prerequisite interruption. He said he lost because he was outnumbered 3-on-1. Now, I'm certain the Demand did interfere. Don't get me wrong. I don't remember the exact finish. I know it was the Lion Soul. It wasn't exactly the finish of the match. Really didn't feel like, dang, the heels got one over. He fucking beat him fairly done. It was not like a Tekla match where there's always huge chicanery, and that's kind of the point of her thing, is she's not winning straight up. But anyway, the demand came out. They kind of jabbered back and forth. There wasn't a whole bunch to it. Jericho said, "Why don't you come down here on your own and fight me?" And Rich said, "Okay, I will." And he came down, and they started brawling. And as soon as Rich no longer had the upper hand, then GOA just got involved. Just, base good heel stuff, So Ricochet beat him down, and then hit him with the Rico Salt. He's calling it the Rico Salt.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I just get this win back here. Like, they're whooping this guy so much, and I'm like, all right, it can't possibly just be this. They played the segment Paul talked about on the last show where Takeshita said, "I'm so sorry," like Father Jack from Father Ted.
Well, I mean, Don Callis does have a Len Brennan sort of
kind of, yeah, I can see that. The Len Brennan family. We got Will Ospreay defeating Hechicero in a non-title match. Etch, of course, the world champion and world heavyweight champion in CMLL. So me and Paul, we were talking about this during the week. This had now they did it during the American commercial break, but if we were watching on my AEW, we saw Ospreay sitting there with Dr. Samson for 120 seconds while the Americans were watching, and I don't know, Taco Bell on pizza. Or whatever the picture was while they were doing that. This match was really great. I really loved it. I'm over. We talked about we're over this, and it makes me feel very Cornette, because it's just like I don't have the problem with him having the neck issue. It's doing your normal match and doing your moves and kicking out of all this stuff, but having the doctor check on you. I'm like, I would rather you just work the match hair differently than doing your normal match. Oh, it's taken so much out of me. The doctor come over and feign concern. It's too much. I could do with them leaving this behind. This and the fake Andrade women. I'm like, right, you've belabored this already. I'm ready for you to move on.
Yeah.
But
the doctor thing, the match was good. The doctor thing is annoying because I feel like that's a tool you could use to add some legitimacy to the feel of your show. Stuff that WWE doesn't really do, right? So you have a match where I did the Moxley match, as we discussed at Dynasty, was the prime example of this. Ospreay takes the closer over the steps. Doctor's checking on him. Ospreay says, I'm good. The doctor waves it off. The doctor says, this guy cannot continue. Whatever little test does. I mean, as far as I could tell, the test that the doctor does is move his arm very slightly to see if his neck is damaged. So this was sick, all right? Because if you're going to use I get it, right? The doctor checks on him is just a signpost for this guy is selling, this guy is hurt, right? It's no more mechanics than that. But I feel like it could be more. You could have a doctor come in and there really be a risk that the doctor is going to call it, and have that be like an equivalent of a guy is in a chin lock and the ref holds up his arm and it goes down once and it goes down twice. You can have the doctor's checking on him, checks the neck, does a little, and actually have him be like talking to Ospreay, because I know they're in picture, as Barry said. But the doctor was just like not even speaking to Ospreay.
Yeah, it was very
flagrantly not. We can have her go in, have the doctor say, you can live something, and the master go, no, I'm fine, and then you have the doctor go, he's good, and then not play it up to a comical sort of spot like that. But have the doctor say, yeah, he's good to go, or let's get it on. Add weight to your spots when you do a pile driver the steps where the doctor has some agency to potentially end the match, right? The problem is they've never had a real precedence where the doctor checks and it never leads to anything. So in its current form, it is just stalling. I think it'd be nice for sometimes to.
But I think we probably talked about this on the Dynasty review. I think you said this, Paul, but it's like, if you're going to, it was pretty ballsy to beat Ospreay so soon after you returned, but I think it was the right decision. doctor salvage. Have the doctor just get involved and say, no, it's, if you're going to do this angle, do this angle. Do it, and then you get beat Hechicero, but I think since you were going to beat him anyway, have the doctor step in. I think that would have been perfect. But anyway.
My other thing would be, instead of during the match, maybe have Ospreay after the match as a little storyline, breadcrumb. He wins the match. And then calls the doctor in, say, I really beat up Doc. Yeah. And he doesn't just go backstage. You can go to the segment while he's being worked on by the doctor and the commentators and say, Ospreay coming out of this match worse for wear. I think there's ways you can use it that are a bit more creative than how it gets corrected. This is my long story short.
I think what I problem I have with this kind of storyline is, how does Ospreay get over this? Because this isn't something, it's not, he doesn't know how to win the big one. This is like a physical problem. That they're portraying. It's not like
just upsetting it.
He's going to train his neck. We're going to see him doing a lot of neck work backstage for his neck. Like, how does he get beyond the fact that he's got this damage? I know, like, injury angles and working legs and things has always been a thing in wrestling, but I feel like this is almost too. Is it just him digging deep and sort of overcoming the risk of the pain? Because it's not even pain. It's like, he's going to not be able to move or something. Yeah. It's a bit too real almost for me, rather than like, if you're selling a body part, if it's like an arm or a leg or something, or Randy Orton's back, you can kind of be like, oh no, I've got, I've healed, I'm back, I've fixed it. With this, it feels like it just makes him look a bit weak. You know what I mean?
The problem as well is they've already, in his literal first big match back, they've done the pile driver on the step spot, right? So am I supposed to be then concerned when he takes a suplex or something? Barry, you're muted, by the way.
The run in then after this match was also like a big mad pile driver, which,
Right, exactly.
Like, I think it should have been much more like, he could have lost to Moxley, but it could have been not because of the neck. It could have been just because he was too fired up and wanted revenge, and he's he's blinded by revenge. So he ended up getting, not paying attention to what Moxley was doing, and it's like, he's got to get this out of his head, get his head clear, and just focus on beating someone. But I don't. I'm just not loving the Ospreay return so far. I think it's not what I wanted. I think it should have just been more kind of a slight triumphant return. Maybe have him lose to Mox, but then
just the problem is they used the crutch of this guy is back from a long-term injury too frequently, and it lasts too long. Steve Austin came back in 2000. Granted, that run was not very good, but Steve Austin came back in 2000 from being hit by a car. He didn't spend the first 2 months going, "Oh, brother, my leg,
my hip,
my neck, brother, I'm hurt." He came back when he was ready to come back, and he beat people up.
Well, this is it. You want your baby faces to beat people up sometimes. I know that's not that AEW is not as reductive as that in terms of stories, but sometimes, it should just be the guy comes. You want your big baby face to come and beat people up. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think you can do this for the first month. I don't want to be 3 months in and Ospreay still doing. Well, he's got it all because it feels like a handcuffed version of you're not going to get a lot of 5-star bonuses doing that. His neck has to heal eventually, and if his neck's not ready, where is he back? As a viewer, that would be my question. Davis came back. I am looking forward to the Davis Ospreay match, I would say.
That should be good. Davis has
been a little surprise package of the year. And I mean, he would not have been under consideration for a fancy drafting. But I do think he's someone who's really been a surprise in terms of the legitimacy that he's kind of plucked out of nowhere. Because he was sort of a jobber to the stars. And lately he's got a bit of legitimacy to him, which I'm enjoying. It would have been a good pile driver. Then we had Tekla and Alex Windsor have a little funny accent off. Although I'm sure to you, Joe, Alex Windsor doesn't have accent. But Tekla with her very strong Austrian.
I do like that Tekla sort of does her little British accent impression, because she's actually, unlike the Americans, she's easier to do it. I think because Europeans can actually do it. As Americans, it just sounds like ridiculous whenever they tried to do a British accent. It's actually quite good. Yeah. She's like, no, mate. No, yeah, it's quite good. She's very funny. Very funny. I did not get fired from Japan. Okay, I did get fired from Japan.
There's a little bit of Faulty Towers comedy, though. But this was okay. Willow and Camille for the TBS.
Yeah. How do you
Camille
solve a problem like Camille? So she's, I'm not against Camille. I liked her in NWA. And I was kind of willing to have a look at her in AEW.
Yeah.
The problem I have is she was sort of known as being like a China-esque kind of thing, like big, muscular woman, brick house. Yeah. In AEW, she doesn't look that big. Like she's not that much bigger than Willow.
No.
You know what I mean? She's a few just taller, but in terms of like heft, like Willow is quite sort of, she's like a Dusty Rhodes kind of thing of like quite sort of solid. She's got a lot of power. And so next to Camille, and also Camille, not a very good wrestler.
that's what I was going to say.
So she doesn't have like the power. She doesn't have the wrestling. She doesn't have the promo. Well, I'm kind of willing.
She has the look.
Well, does she though?
That's about it. Yeah, I think she looks. She's not huge, like you said, but I think she looks intimidating. The problem is they don't really work the match so much like that.
No.
And the problem is they have, since Camille debuted originally, they have since brought in a better Camille.
Yeah.
In Megan Bay.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Megan Bay here, folks.
And Lena Khan. I mean.
And Lena Cross.
Lena Khan.
Well, Lena Khan, was she determined to fuck
you're married Tony Khan. And that's his wife.
But they brought in like a much better version in Megan Bay. And I think Lena Cross is better as well, to be fair. So Camille's in a bit of a weird one. And I did feel like if they had real, not plans, I guess, but they had real intention for Camille to be something in AEW, I feel like they should have had her win here. I think the fact that she came in, attacked Willow at the Pape, they immediately did the match, and Willow, compromised as she was, won anyway. May have said to me, this might be a situation where Camille's just fucking gone again now. Like, what do you need? She came in and she's lost. What do you do with her then? Like, as you said, she's not a character that the fans have much involvement with. She's not this great wrestler that you can't but put on TV. Do you team her up with someone? I don't know what you, to be honest.
Yeah, she's kind of she's sort of like a female Lance Archer. You know what I mean? Like that.
Sort of.
But he's a good wrestler. He's quite good in Norway.
Well, Lance Archer in 2026. So
but he's that kind of big person you bring in every 2 months to like have a heat up match with the kind of baby face.
With Kevin.
Get him heated up for a title match or whatever. So we'll see. This was great.
Not great. We did have the surprise appearance of Sting.
Oh god,
his big Santy beard, and he said, "Darby." He looked directly into the camera and said, "Darby Allin's with fucking title tonight, folks." That's what happened. I wouldn't be here.
I didn't show up in fucking Seattle for
Darby to not win the belt, folks.
This was a good shot. Can I get a nitpick? Can I give you a nitpick? Maybe I don't know if you liked it. Nitpick. It's still a little bit like Sting as Big Brother kind of thing. Like Darby is the guy who needs to be shouted at and said, "No, you idiot! It's not Showtime." I think if I was producing this segment, and I know you put my producer hat on, WWE AEW Unreal, or what, or that's over this segment, I would have had it be a lot more like, Darby.
You got this, damn right.
I'd have reversed it. It'd have been like Sting being like, "It's Showtime." Darby's like, "No, it's my time."
Very good. Yeah, I agree.
That's it. That's what it needs to be. Darby confident, like, no, I've got this thing.
Yeah.
You got my bad brother, but don't worry about it. I got it. I think this is the thing. It's a bit of a trend in WWE for a long time of like, oh, the old guys come back and kind of the new guys on the back, like, oh yeah, you
got this.
You good one, kid. You can just win it one day. And it's like, now these guys, they need to. You don't see people do that with MJF. You know what I mean? I think that's part of success as well. Or Hangman, for example. So I think from now on, we just need to see Darby kind of, he's the guy, not the old timer. It's Darby. Yeah. But that could see Sting. I think it's great to have him. Great to have him there. Yeah.
The one thing I would say in the favor of the way they did it, I do broadly agree with you. But when Sting first came back, the idea was that it was Darby who sort of picked him up off the ground, say, you could still do this. You're not done. Let's go on this run. And so you could see that this is Sting sort of paying the favor back. But yeah, I think you could have done it in a way that didn't have Darby sort of hands in pockets looking on the floor. Oh, gee.
Oh, shucks.
Oh, shucks. I don't know. Especially given how passionate he was in his promo with MJF not an hour beforehand. You could have had Sting, as Darby's about to go out, say you have Sting just standing in Gorilla going, give him the old nod, go, you got this, and Darby says, you damn right I do. And goes, does it, Or when Darby wins, have the lights go out and Sting comes out just to celebrate with him, nice to see Sting anyway. And then you had the main event, and I'm interested to see what Barry and yourself think about this, because I will say, while I was very happy to see Darby win, there was a little bit of disappointment that they didn't just have an actual match. I think the fact that they, instead of doing a Darby MJF world title match in which Darby, fights and fights and fights and Darby eventually wins the title, instead of doing that, they did this non-match that to me, and also the build up to with Sting, as we just talked about, Sting backstage and the opening segment of the show, made it feel a little bit less like not earned, but like real. I know that's a strange thing to say in the context of pro wrestling, but
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
it's kind of like they are kind of telling us that like we also see this guy as like Mick Foley. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think they're like signaling to the audience now that this is not Jon Moxley dethroning Chris Jericho in the main event of a pay-per-view and everyone cheers and he holds the title for 6 months,
Yeah. There was an element watching it of they went to the main event and within 1 minute it was over and I kind of went, I'm really happy Darby won, but that's it. I would have liked it personally. I mean, they've done like very long overruns recently. 15, 20 minute match, Darby wins at the end, and my God, he's climbed another mountain, he's done it. This is like if he climbed Everest and he just took out to the top. And I did it. It felt very slightly cheapened by the fact that he didn't really win a world title match, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what's the closest analogy to this? I can only think of like Diesel beating Bob Backlund in 9 seconds in a kind of nothing match, which is basically that. But then what does that tell us? I don't feel like that's having a babyface squash a heel.
He also won with a low blow as well, which make it out what you will, because MJF low blowed him first.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Why did MJF give up his Dynamite ring?
He was giving it up. So he's like, hey, look, Aubrey, I'm playing by the rules. Thank you. And then she was throwing it out when he kicked Darby in the balls.
It was
I liked the match. I mean, I think because tying into what we talked about at the top of the show, I don't really think of him as a guy I would have MJF do 30 minutes with and then he wins in an epic. It's just not. It's not his energy. But even though he didn't definitively beat him, it still was. I still really enjoyed it. I thought the psychology of it was good because he did outfox MJF. He out MJF'd MJF in a lot of ways. So even though this is probably not going to be a very long, meaningful reign, he played the ultimate spoiler to MJF, and got the better of him I liked it for what it was. I mean, I liked it for what it was. I did.
I think the 4 coffin drops and then doing the win with the headlock takeover felt a little procedural. Like he has to beat him.
Yeah, it was like
2 telegraphs. He has to beat him with the headlock takeover, so he has to do 4 coffin drops. And so it felt like before the pinfall, 3 steps ago, you just knew where it was going. So the element of him winning the belt, that kind of, oh my God, he did it. Reaction I felt was kind of lessened because it was so obvious that that's where they were going, nitpicks, I guess, but
I think it's all that, like the whole thing was so telegraphed that it was presented as like a shock title win, but it was also telegraphed like, but it really wasn't a shock.
the second sting,
You know what I mean? Even before that, like the fact that they were doing it, I was like, this is obviously good times. Like it's just because it's in his hometown. That was the thing, right? It's in his hometown, or it's like where he had his first match. So it was like, okay, that he's winning here. There was no real doubt that he was going to win. And so you do a shock, like I think
that's kind of that's the thing.
In the long
term, for that surprise,
we'll look back and just remember him winning the belt. And
which is great.
To be forgotten. Kind of like for me, like the biggest memories I have in wrestling as a kid watching Ron Simmons beat Van Vader for the world title on a WWE Worldwide, and Mick Foley winning the belt from The Rock. Those are the 2 memories. Yeah. I don't remember too much about those matches other than like Austin coming out and
the finish.
In the middle of the day. Yeah, you remember kind of the finish. You don't remember too much of the details of the show and everything. So I think in 3 years we'll look back and go, I remember when Darby won the belt. It'll just be a nice moment.
Yeah. And that was the show. They celebrated as a show on Off the Air.
All the people.
We then had a Thursday night collision.
I didn't see it.
It was okay, I would say. The main event was quite good. Copeland opened with a promo. He said, you guys say we're not going to get another title shot. I say this rivalry is about more than titles, and we are not going to go away until we get our pound of flesh from you. And then he got attacked by Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, and FTR. They gave him a big old beatdown. Christian was not there because they said he was selling the effects of the arm attack from pre and during the pay-per-view. Young Bucks defeated the Rascals. This was Myron Reed and Zachary Wentz, since Desmond Xavier had this match with Ciampa earlier. Quite good. Post-match, the Dogs attacked Sans Gabe Kidd and said, the mission stays the same. We want bodies in gold. And I thought, oh, I forgot these guys weren't the Trios of the Champions anymore. That's how quick all that shit happened last week. Trios Champions are the conglomeration now. Let's not forget.
Yes.
Speak of the Devil, they had an eliminator match with Blake Christian, Jay Lethal, and Lee Johnson.
Okay.
And of course they won. Not much to report. Backstage segment, Hook is being filmed by Shibata, and this is one of my least favorite wrestling tropes that they do. Hook is being filmed by Shibata as he's like leaving the arena mid-show. Like, why did he even go then? He's like, Shibata, let me tell you about this great ass restaurant out here in Washington. We're gonna go. Da, 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 da. Anthony Bowen shows up and says, you and me got to talk about this. Me joining the ops thing. Am I in or am I out? And Hook says, I'm going to tell you next week. We're going to just tell now. Next week. So guys, if you didn't have it marked in your calendar already, make space. Because next week we'll find out if Anthony Bowens is in the ops or not. Can't wait.
I kind of hope for his sake he is, because the idea of them
Imagine that.
dragging out. I assume he's not going to be, because I mean, I don't know why you would tease that out just for him to go yes, but like
the thing is that Hook is barely in the ops. He's not feeling.
Yeah, the ops is just doing nothing. But it's just kind of like the idea of he says no and he tries to be defiant, and we then watch a Hook Anthony Bowen.
Oh, that's what it'll be. That's what it'll be.
Brutal.
That's what it'll be. That's what it'll be. Statlander and Sheeta defeated Big Ann and Danica Della. We didn't talk about they had a brief segment on Dynamite, and Sheeta was dressed like her clothes were on backwards.
Yes.
And, I don't know what she was looking like. Sheeta, by the way, Mina Shirakawa allegedly holder of a degree in English. Sheeta's English is about 900 times. Sheeta's almost like fluent.
She was very funny as well. I kind of like this. She's doing this like overbearing. I'm not turning heel, guys. I don't know what anyone's mouth is. It's very, very funny. It's very funny. I like it a lot.
I think Sheeta is someone who needs to get a bit more respect put on her name.
Well, I will say, when she came back, I was a bit like, Sheeta, like, she's done everything. She's like if Britt Baker never left. Now, I think she's better than Baker. But, like, she's like Baker if she never left. She's been around forever. She's wrestled everyone. She had loads of long reigns. She's been a face. She's been in a team. I'm like, so I was like, they'd want to have something really interesting and good for her lined up. And thus far, I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
She's never had a chance to really show off a lot of personality, is the thing.
Yeah.
So I'd like this belief. Statlander, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. She has regressed personality-wise at an astonishing rate. She looked like she was falling asleep here. Her face looked like she didn't give a fuck about what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I had this. I'm not going to make any proclamations or predictions here. Well, I'll just say I had the same feeling. Not to say about the performance or anything, but just in terms of looking at this person and kind of peering into the crystal ball and seeing like what do we have. I don't think Statlander wins that world title again. I'm not saying that definitively like I did with Hangman.
I think you're right, though.
I'm looking at the way the career's going. Statlander, I think, is great in ring. I just think whatever the reason is, she cannot figure it out character-wise. And that is causing a big, big rift in her connecting with the audience. And I don't know what the solution for it is, but there's something really missing there for Statlander. And I don't know if she's just like so beaten down by the difficulties she's having with that, but like she was not giving off great vibes in her various appearances here this week.
I agree.
Continental Champion Jon Moxley defeated Nick Wayne in an eliminator bout. This guy, Nick Wayne, has it.
Oh yeah,
this guy's got it. This guy's hook times a million.
Oh
in terms of,
yeah.
They're not even the same stratosphere. This guy is, in my mind, better than Ospreay was at his age. I think he's got potential to be at that level. I think we're looking at a guy who in a few years' time will be another Fletcher Ospreay level wrestler. I think he's absolutely got it. I think he has the kind of promo chops as well. I think he's got a good little character.
Mm-hmm.
I like him a lot. I think there's big potential with Nick Wayne, far more than Hook. Shattuck versus Lio Rush. Now,
oh yeah, Lio Rush doing the crazy.
This is your delicacy stuff. This is your. Some people will taste the caviar and say, "Oh yes, very very much so." Some people say, "What the fuck is this? Get this away from me! Give me a steak instead." I can see this being incredibly polarizing.
I think in the little conversations I've seen about this gimmick, I think it is, and it's like clockwork. It's like some people are like, "Oh, the AEW is so stupid," and then there's also like people like, "Oh, I don't really like AEW, but this seems cool." I'm like, it was same with Toni Storm at her goofiest. That was the stuff WWE fans would go, "Gotta give it to him. This is good wrestling."
So he plays a little goblin type, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come over here to me.
Yeah. He's like I think I fought him in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, he's very Gollum coded, is what it is.
I love how to get wrestling fans to say you're a creative genius, you just have to do anything spooky. Oh, this is so creative. Oh my god,
if I was getting
contact lenses. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he's got the contact lenses. It's like if I was getting into wrestling today, right? The way I would I have too much pride to become a spooky man, right? But I realize you gotta meet the fans where they are, right? So this is how I cut my promo on my if I was on the Indies. I go, I'll see you in that ring next Saturday in Dublin. It's me and you for the title, and I'm not holding back. I'm going to beat you down because I want to be the champion. Oh, there's a ghost standing there next to me, by the way. Just a little bit of meat for the WWE fans. So they go, oh, interesting. He's got lore. He's followed around by a
God,
ghost.
I literally had to switch it off. I couldn't keep. I'm shaking. Is it
You know who would be my manager if he was still with us? God rest him. Derek Okora. Because instead of saying, "Come on, ref, that was 3," he'd be like, "Hold on a minute, ref. I'm getting something from Sam." Sam says, "Look over there," and then he slides me a chair. So anyway, I am taking bookings. I can wrestle the Invisible Man in Saudi Arabia next year.
Random squawks in your promos as well as you get temporarily possessed. Just after that, like, Pac beat him anyway.
Yeah.
long
The
story.
funny thing is, Leo Rush's been trying to do some version of this for like years. He did it on the Indies for a while, and this is like the most pared back, least over the top version of it he's done. He's done so many. The amount of times he'd get announced for a match when he's still on the Indies, and you'd get kind of excited and be on some fucking GCW show, and you'd tune in and he's doing the spooky thing instead of being normal and having a good match. This one is relatively pared back compared to some of the other
I do like
versions.
the little ball thing he does before he hits a suicide.
That's good. Look, this is not my type of wrestling. It's not as annoying as some of the other very annoying characters in wrestling. Like, he's not currently shooting lightning out of his hands or possessing people,
Yeah.
And for a for a lower mid carder, let's say whatever. I won't lose any sleep over it.
Squash match: Brody King, Mystico, and Mascara Dorada defeated a bunch of geeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tekla Alex Windsor in the main event, which is quite good.
Yeah, I believe that. I like
Tekla with a little brass knucks shot and a foot stomp for the win. Foot stomp. I mean, all stomps are foot stomps, I suppose. Curb stomp, I would call it. FOW Online calling it a foot stomp. It's like a hand punch.
Hand punch, yeah.
The devastating jumping leg kick. So that was their collision.
It's collision. Yeah, good week of TV for AEW.
Speaking of TV,
we'll go straight into our TV guff for the week. A lot of shows wrapping up. Paul, did you finish Scrubs?
Yes, sir.
We've been bigging it up all along the way. I now that it's said and done, I mean, I think that was a very fun season of TV. I think it was very fun. And
I was on fun.
Note.
I won't quite go to very fun, but I think it was fun.
Yeah.
Ended on an interesting note insofar as it wasn't as conclusive a finale as I kind of thought it was going to be going into it. It was far more a setup for more.
Yeah, I think as we talked about it last week, I was like how the Malcolm in the Middle one was. I could really believe them when they say they want to do one and done. They're not fishing for more. This one is kind of like, I'd like season 2, please, boss.
Yes, please, boss.
Classic, much like 90s TV. That was always the thing. Was that's why so many shows end on cliffhangers that don't get resolved, because that was their little stinger that they hope they'd get renewed. Now I'm fairly sure this will probably get picked up again. I don't know how it's doing. I don't know what a metric for success is in the streaming age. I really don't know what.
Well, this airs on ABC.
This airs on telly, yeah. Okay, this airs on telly in the States. So, good.
I mean, whatever that means in 2026.
Well, yeah, I suppose, what does either of those things mean? But
look, the show doesn't look like it costs $1 million prep.
Certainly does. That's my one gripe, really. That is my one gripe. I think it looks like shit, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it looks like fucking garbage. Because the funny thing is, these revivals are actually making me appreciate the originals more. Because you and I could sit here and have a 2-hour conversation about Scrubs and the comedy and the characters, and we probably wouldn't even talk about how it looks. But then when I think back about it, it's like, well, actually, no, the original Scrubs, compared to TV today, it actually did look really good. It was very creatively shot, and they did loads of, for all their little wacky cutaways, they had to build sets and they would build sets and props and costumes for a 10-second gag in some cases. And it's same with Malcolm in the Middle, which didn't look as bad, but it didn't look very nice. The new one did not look especially nice visually. Another show with lots of very wacky non sequiturs and oddball comedy that involved tons of work to make happen. But that's, other than that, I really liked it. I like the new characters. I think they're charming. I think the actors are good. The new crew they got in are good. You're not fussed on them?
I think they're okay. I don't think they're anything special. I think the writing was a little bit rushed. I feel like the the British guy has had like 3 relationships already.
Yes, when he got with the other girl, I was like, all right, that's about 2 seasons worth of original Scrubs. Yeah, that was a bit silly. Yeah,
and I feel like the show's comedy feels a lot more conventional, whereas Scrubs was kind of quite surreal at times.
Surreal, yeah.
Original run. It feels less surreal, certainly, I would say now. And I feel like the show really, although it was good, and it was my hopes were really low going in. So I think it over-delivered. But I do feel like it lacked a real good antagonist. I think the Dr. Kim character didn't quite fill the boots of Cox or Kelso in a meaningful way.
And I think he's actually, this is actually one of my other issues with this this is one of my other issues with this show, is that some of the characters, specifically the antagonistic JD's rival, they kind of feel like composites of other kind of lazy. It's not Dr. Kim, it's Dr. What is he? What's his name? What's the character's name? Park? Is it Dr. Park?
Oh, don't tell me I've mixed up the 2 Korean names.
You sick bastard. Wikipedia called it Scrubs Season 10. Sir, that is not what this is.
Hang on. Dr. Kevin Park, played by Joel Kim Booster.
Okay, you're off the hook.
That's why I called him it.
He does feel a bit like ChatGPT. What would a character talk like if he was half Bob Kelso and half Dr. Cox? He does feel a little bit.
Sprinkle of bisexuality as well, please.
Yeah, I don't really like that character. You have to have JD has to have a rival. Okay, that's fine. But I'm like, okay, can you put a new spin on it so he doesn't feel like a watered down Dr. Cox? I don't really like that character at all. It's kind of half baked.
Right.
I would also say that they had a good story justification for why John C. McGinley isn't in the whole show, and his stuff is very good. Judy Reyes' stuff is very good. There's a episode where she is central that I think is great.
Yeah,
they do a really bad job of explaining why she's in like 4 episodes. She's like still like the nurse who works in the hospital.
She's right there behind the counter.
She's right over there, mate. Don't even worry about it. Like, but she's just
look there though.
Don't, as long as you have no further questions. Yes, she's over there. Yeah, because again, on the subject of how the show looks, I mean, she is the worst culprit. It's not her decision, but it's like if anyone hasn't watched this show yet, me and Paul give it a recommendation. Give it a watch, but look at most of these scenes Judy Reyes is in. It's a lot of her sitting on her own talking to the back of, I guess that could be Sarah Chalk's head, or it could be another blonde actress who's don't move so we can see any of your features. You're a blonde woman who, as far as I'm concerned, is Sarah Chalk, the back of her head. A little
some of the cameos in the finale were nice. We had Krista Miller's Jordan return as well. Don't worry about telling her not to move her features, by the way. Wouldn't be able to.
Oh man. Janitor, of course, spoilers.
Janitor, who, God love him, but he suffers from Marge Simpson old voice now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm ancient now. He looked well, but the voice was...
most of the cast is, but hasn't aged that much. But it was good. It was good.
It was a good season. Episode 8, far and away the best, I felt.
Yes, that was the highlight.
The finale. And anytime McGinley and Judy Reyes were around,
they were top.
The show felt more like Scrubs than when they weren't.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
And it is like wrestling. It's kind of like, okay, you have to let the new people do stuff and the new characters go. Because again, Cox, I can kind of appreciate not being in the show every single week. Again, you've done everything with that character. JD is now the chief of medicine. What else can you really have Cox do? I get that. Judy Reyes, I feel like, to me, she is there with like JD, Turk, Elliott. I think she has to be there in that core group, and they're like executive producers of the show now, and she's just, I guess. But that's that. I'm sure we'll follow. I'm sure it'll get at least one more season.
I'm sure it will.
Also done. Lots of shows wrapping up at the moment. The Pitt. I've actually not seen the last episode of The Pitt. Joe, have you wrapped up The Pitt?
1 and 2, you mean?
Say what?
Series 2, you mean?
Series 2, yeah.
We watched it, baby. It was good. been a strong sense of foreboding the second season. I don't think it quite. I don't want to spoil anything, but
you had predicted last week it was.
I thought someone was going to get like shot in the head as they left the ER.
Yeah.
There was nothing quite like that. Like a disaster. It was a nice sort of. It was more like a postscript or quite a stressful sort of series. But I did really like it. I mean, it's really fun. It's a fun show. Michelle's a huge fan of it. She's obsessed with it. She listens to the podcast. She's on all the fan Instagrams and stuff. I'm not as obsessed with it, but I do really enjoy it. Like I said before, I think it's like a show that in the past would have been a really kind of solid like HBO or network show, and now because there's just no television on anymore, it's sort of elevated to a point of like, this is the greatest thing. Everyone wants to talk about it. Because we're just sort of starved for new TV shows. But I like the characters. I think that's just the most important thing. You can have all the medical dramas you want. You can have all the goings on and political commentary. But if you've got 4 or 5 characters you're invested in, that's what really matters at the end of the day. Yeah. That's the most important thing. So and it's there. So I'm look forward to it coming back.
Yeah, I look forward to catching that finale.
Did you enjoy episode 2 of Taskmaster, Joe?
I did again. I think it might have been strong. Some of the tasks were kind of stronger than the first, but again, I think still just enjoying like the interaction between.
What do you make of the cast this year?
They're good. They're good. There's not that kind of. They're all nice, but there's not one person who's a bit of a shit. You know what I mean? Like they're all quite likable. I think it can help when you've got like someone who's a bit too competitive, like an Ed Gamble or that Ian. What's his name? The Scottish man. Don't really know.
Oh, Sterling.
Ian Sterling. Someone like that who just puts a bit of needle in. You know what I mean? I don't sense that.
I think they lack a like wacky Sam Campbell type as well. They're all too normal. They're all too similar. Almost.
That's it. You've got the doddery old man, which is Armando. So he's ticking that box. You've got the kind of bubbly, nice one, which is Joanna Page. And the other three,
the other 4 are the bubbly, nice one. They're all bubbly and nice.
She fits that one, but then you've got another 3: Kamal, Joel. Who's the 5th one?
Amy.
Amy, but yeah. You don't have like the Phil from last year, the kind of zany ones. So it's not a classic lineup, but they are very likable.
It's good. I would say
funny. Yeah.
What else has been watching?
Well, the show, the wrapping up shows continues. I finished. They put out 2 more episodes of Smiling Friends, which. They were not finales. It seems like they've made these. When the last episode aired, there was basically hints that they had 2 more up their sleeves. So obviously that show was not continuing, but it wasn't any kind of like, here's our last episode written with that in mind. It was just I preferred that it was just 2 additional normal episodes, and they were both fucking great. As I've said about the show the entire way through, they're batting damn near. I don't know what the baseball analogy is. They're the good one. Nearly perfect.
100 probably.
100 is that it? Yeah, I'll go for that. Yeah, hilarious. Final episode. So many great cameos over the years. So many great voice casts. Final episode. Good old John DiMaggio in there as the uncle character, and he was hilarious. I love a good John DiMaggio character. He's in everything, obviously, but he was hilarious in the last Smiling Friends episode. So there you go. I hope that show comes back. I think it'll come back in some capacity, but there you go. Anyone watching The Boys? I know it was pretty. I thought season 4 was pretty rotten, all told.
I will watch it. I just don't want to get Amazon yet, so I'm going to wait till it's finished and then watch it.
I
can download that shit from the internet.
Boy, Yui, some cunts downloading my show.
Download a TV series? I fucking would. I have many times.
Oh man, they done torrented my show and bloody killed me wife, Yui.
The worst
thing. I didn't watch this week's episode, but the first 2 episodes were really good and kind of felt like, all right, we're back on track. Season 4 was rubbish. It was a lot of like they barely maintained the superhero analogy. It was like the superhero goes on not Fox News and literally starts talking about how like vaccines cause autism, and I'm like, can't you call it a super vaccine or something? Can you like pretend you're doing like you're like, I get it, it's ripped from the headlines, but they're like they so barely veiled like that stuff. It felt like one of those seasons where I think they knew, I don't think we knew at the time, but I think they knew season 5 will be our last one. So 4 was like dragging the feet, nothing. It's like one of those bad Game of Thrones seasons. Like we're killing a little bit of time here. We're having the characters wander around, not really doing anything. Season 5, first 2 episodes, action-packed, stuff happening, stuff of consequence happening in the story. Set the table for like, okay, here this is our final season. We're actually going to start doing shit here. And there was laughs and there was action, and so we're off on the good foot. So I'm very happy with it so far, and my confidence is built up a little bit that they'll end this one right. So there you go. In lieu of all these shows ending, I did start 2 new shows, well, not new, but new for me, with the wife, that I've been kind of curious about for a while. Similar enough themes. I started The Comeback with Lisa Kudrow. This was starring, written, and I think created by Kudrow. This was a passion project of hers post Friends. The first season of this aired in 2005, so literally she did it right after. It's extremely underrated. It's one of those things that like is like actually underrated. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'd heard very little about it. Its 3rd season is airing right now, and its first season was in 2005. So it kind of has like that Family Guy schedule taken to the extreme. They aired 1 season. I don't think it was. I think it was a cult hit among cult hits. They did season 2 in like 2014, 15, and then they're doing the 3rd one now. So it seems like it's one of these shows that kind of hangs on for dear life. But the first season it's kind of like, it's almost like Boyhood. I'm really curious what the 2nd season is going to look like, because it's legitimately made 10 years later. This first season, this is the most 2005 television show I've ever seen. So it's an HBO comedy for anyone who hasn't seen it or heard of it. Very Curb straight away. I would say very Curb Your Enthusiasm, very socially awkward comedy as the gist. Kudrow plays someone who was a big star in the late 80s, early 90s in a sitcom. She's auditioning for a role in 2005 as the sassy aunt in a shitty sitcom. And the actress who gets cast in that will also then get a comeback-themed reality show about her returning to the fame. So the show's a mockumentary. So it's basically presented as raw footage from the documentary crew following her around. And funnily enough, the show almost feels like a weird mishmash of The Office and Extras. Very satirical of the shitty process of making a broad laugh track sitcom. Arsehole writers who don't know anything about anything writing slop for an audience and executives that love it. She's trying to have some semblance of pride in her work, but there's none really to be had. But her character is also, the Office aspect of it it's a mockumentary first of all, but she's kind of Brent-esque. She's like not a dickhead. You're not necessarily rooting against her, but she's a little bit she's being done wrong by people, but also you're not rooting for her either. She's a little bit up her own arse. It's so 2005. I mean, and it's much like Extras. It's so funny that she's like, it was like 12 months after the Friends finale. This is one of those mid-2000s show that is so confidently turning and sneering at the studio comedy. I mean, it is so going out of its way to be like, this is an HBO comedy. We got no laugh track. Look at this fucking shit people were laughing at a couple of years ago. This is so beneath us. It's very interesting. It's very, very funny. She's great in it. I've always thought Kudrow was a little bit underrated among the Friends class. I think that character became really insufferable for like the second half of that show. But she is great. She's hilarious in this. She has great comedic timing. But there's a quiet desperation to her character that I think is really excellent. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it plays out. So thumbs up on that one. I'm really curious to see how that plays out. The other thing I'm watching, also airing at the moment, but I'm catching up. I started watching Hacks with Gene Smart and Hannah Einbender. This is a very Emmy-winning, very celebrated show from the last couple of years. I think its 5th and final season is on at the moment. Gene Smart plays a rich, very well-to-do comedian who's not quite down on her luck, but she's resting on her laurels a little bit. She has a Vegas residency where she makes loads of money and she lives in a big mansion, but she goes out there and she does her same old material, and her management are kind of growing weary of her. And Hannah Einbender plays a young, kind of trendy comedy writer who's in hot water because of a tweet, and she's on the verge of cancellation and losing her management. So the management company that represents the two of them pairs them together. It's like, all right, you work with her, freshen up the act, you take her under her wing, see if you can just up. And it's kind of an odd couple because Gene Smart is, old school Vegas comedian. Hannah Einbender is very funny in her own regard, but she's very kind of like, can you say that? We don't really say that, Without being cloying, though, it's when I kind of watched I thought the first episode was really funny, but I was like, is this going to be a little bit kind of like the young bisexual writer is like, actually, we don't say that anymore. And Gene Smart's like puffing a fag going, yeah, well, I do, sweetie. But it's much more nuanced than that. It's very, very, they're two great characters. The interplay between the two actors is so great. They've unbelievable chemistry. And it's an interesting show about comedy. It's very, very funny, but it's kind of like straight away in the first couple of episodes, you can kind of see the strengths and weaknesses of each of their games, for lack of a better a way of phrasing it, and it's kind of interesting to see how that relationship develops. It's really good. I really loved the first. I think I watched the first 4 episodes of that. Very funny, great performances, and I can tell Gene Smart's got her character. There's like a lot going on under the surface. I think the show is going to very slowly unveil. Huge thumbs up on that. So big into that. That's me for the week on telly. No movies, all telly for me this week. What about you, Paul?
Just Scrubs for me and Taskmaster. A little bit of Batman sprinkled in when I came.
Oh yeah, you still got Batman going.
Nice. I did watch that Hook documentary or commentary.
Oh yeah.
As you might imagine. But that's it for me. Joe, what about yourself?
Finished off last week Mad Men. Started watching it at the start of the year. Obviously a classic show, considered one of the all-time greats. Really came from that golden age of television in the kind of 2000s up to probably, when did that end? So 2015, when streaming started, coincidentally. So yeah, it was created by Matthew Weiner, who was a writer on The Sopranos, but had a long career, but was a producer and a writer on The Sopranos. AMC, and now the home of TNA Impact.
Oh my God.
Was looking for, they wanted their own kind of prestige, hit shows. So they tapped him up for a pilot called Mad Men, which was starts in 1960 on Madison Avenue, which is kind of a shorthand for the advertising agency district in New York back in the day. I don't know how much to what extent it still is, but at that point was where all the big ad agencies were. And in those days, it was all about kind of copywriting ads for billboards and newspapers and TVs. Of course, now it's all just like digital crap and SEO. It's rubbish, there's no craft or creativity in advertising anymore. It's just, targeting people based on, I've searched for a lawnmower. We're going to show you ads for lawnmowers for the next 5 years, that kind of thing. This was the golden age, and the main character is Don Draper, who's a kind of Korean War veteran who's got a deep, dark secret, but he's also incredibly handsome and charming, and he's also a creative genius. He comes up with these ads for brands that are like, oh my God, this guy's so fucking cool. I want to shag him. That's kind of the premise. There's also another character called Peggy Olson, who's kind of an up-and-coming... she starts out as a secretary at this ad agency called Sterling Cooper, and she ends up working her way up to copywriter. That's kind of within the first season, in a world where there are no female copywriters or
womanized world.
Anything really. All the women are just secretaries. It's just everything else is men. So it's a fantastic show. It's one Michelle's watched many, many times. I had actually only watched it once all the way through before, which was when it was going out, which was kind of 2007 to 2016, 17.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen it for a long time. I have, I'm somewhat of a, creative advertising genius myself.
Yes,
I like to go on about it on the show. This is not about work, But funny enough, so when I finished Mad Men, I had not yet started working in a marketing agency. So it was funny kind of going back and revisiting it. Not to say that I worked in a kind of Sterling Cooper-esque agency.
I wouldn't say I'm Don Draper, but I wasn't
like ads for tobacco and Coca-Cola or anything. But, there is a kind of... there's a lot of it that's kind of similar dynamic of like how you deal with the clients, and, they say things like, this... My dad always said this was the best job in the world apart from the clients. And I'm there nodding. I'm looking at Michelle going,
sagely nodding.
That's what we used to say. Yeah, this is clients, or they ask for creativity, and you give them some creativity, and they go, "Oh yeah, we don't like that. It's too creative." There's just lots of moments like that kind of really made me think about, that kind of world, and then the world of accounts is strikingly kind of similar. Like, I don't think things change that much. Dealing with clients and account management, all this kind of stuff. So really interesting from that angle, and it's all just a really good show. I think what I'd kind of forgotten about the strength of the show as it goes over the 7 seasons is it goes from 1960 to 1969. So it shows you the whole of the 60s, and it shows you the whole of the evolution from, the first season is kind of the 50s almost. It's like they're all in the conservative suits, it's men, cigarettes, smoking, blah, blah, blah. Everything's kind of, it's America, it's confident, it's post-war, everything's been great and booming, and it all seems good. They then get into the Vietnam and the counterculture and hippies and civil rights. And you really kind of see it changing over the 7 seasons. Not just the characters growing. Yeah, the fashion has changed. You don't really notice it. And then we watched like a kind of not documentary, but like a YouTube kind of recap of it. Yeah. As someone had done. And you see the first season again and the way they're all dressed. And you're like, oh shit, yeah, it's completely different to where it ends up. And just the colors in the office and everything, like, it really does a good job at kind of bringing in the real world, like, of politics and of JFK and of Martin Luther King assassination and the moon landing. Brings all of that in and shows the characters kind of reacting to it in a very realistic way, in a very kind of enjoyable way as well. The characters are great. I mean, you like Don because he's charming and handsome. He's a shit, but he's also not the worst shit in the show, so you kind of like him. Peggy is quite likable. She's also a bit annoying at times, but she's kind of likable as well. And I kind of say that's the theme with all the characters. They're all a little bit...
well, they're real.
Yeah, they're real. Yeah, they're kind of annoying, but you like them in spite of it. And so I think they do. That's again, one of the strengths of the show. It's really, really good. I do enjoy the early seasons where there is a lot more about the actual kind of work and craft of advertising. I do think that fades a little bit as they go on. And it also does suffer from that thing a lot of shows do, where to keep the show going season after season, you have to keep kind of throwing in things of like, oh, the agency's going to get taken over. Oh, there we're going to take it over again. And then there's a lot of that goes on. And it works to some degree, but I think you kind of go back to the well once too often with some of that. So, but it gets to a point where, I think they really kind of deliver. So yeah, it's a great show. If you never watched
one of the all-time greats. One of the all-time.
I think anyone would enjoy it. It's quite a universal show. You don't have to have worked in an ad agency.
No. It's slightly broader, but you don't have to have smoked. You don't have to have smoked a fag inside an office building. But
smoke and drink whiskey and be a little bit racist and homophobic and sexist to enjoy it. It did also remind me of the one. It does help. The one time I've ever spoken to a celebrity in part. So I've seen, the other day, like being in central London, right? I've worked there. You see a lot of celebrities kind of milling about, right? Quite not unusual. I would never like go up to someone and ask for an autograph or a picture, right? I'm just not.
No,
in that. I'll see someone like, oh look, it's them, but I'm not really going to talk to them. The only time I ever spoke to someone, a celebrity, in my life, and I was pretty drunk, so let's just throw that out. I was well lubricated, and I was out. This was probably 2018. I was out with kind of workmates. I think it was a leaving drinks, but Michelle was there as well. She'd come along. Yeah. When she first moved over. We were in Soho in central London. I was on the street where my office was, this ad agency. I was walking down the street. There's a famous jazz club on this street called Ronnie Scott's. It's a very well-known jazz club.
A cool place to be seen.
Very cool. There's a long queue outside. I look over and I go, that's Elizabeth Moss from Mad Men.
Oh, no way.
Peggy Olsen. And I see Elizabeth Moss. And Michelle's like, oh, it is. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go and say something. So I went up to her and I was very quick. I was just like,
she didn't like that.
I said, Elizabeth Moss. I was like, oh, I'm such a big fan of yours. You're such a great actress. Great to see you. Hope you have a great night. That was it. Very quick. I said 3 sentences and I was out. And she was fucking absolute gone as well, to be honest. Like, shit, what was going on? She was like, what?
She was jazzing it up, maybe.
She was jazzing. But it was very funny because thinking back to it, this was like a few doors down from where I had worked as a copywriter in an ad agency. And here I am meeting like Peggy Olson a few yards away from where I worked. I hadn't really thought of the significance of that until rewatching Mad Men just this time. So
That's my story.
yeah. So yeah,
Excellent.
Something's up Mad Men.
A classic, yeah. Frequent list topper for sure.
I've never met anyone that famous. Barry, who's the most famous person you've met and talked to?
Talk to? I've seen somebody, like, I'm not a big...
Wrestlers don't count.
No, wrestlers don't count, yeah. I've seen others out and about, and I just maybe it's because in the wrestling bubble we've just seen too many horror stories of wrestlers just being pestered by freaks. Yeah. But I saw Aidan Gillen getting gelato with his family in his other place in Dublin. I think that was an OTT. Like, I was with a pal of mine. I was like couch surfing, and I was like, "Don't know." It's not Aidan Gillen over your... No, don't. Just look very slowly when I stop looking and talking like this. Is that Aidan? And it was him. Also, it was a small, empty gelato place, and so was definitely aware of the fact that the two freaks sitting a couple of tables across were looking at him going, is that Aidan Gillen? But like, yeah, with his family, I was like, I have no interest in going over and being a pest. No, you can't believe that. No, I've never really seen or interacted with a normal celebrity really ever.
I told the Kevin Conroy story a few weeks.
You did, yes, which was a classic.
Earl Helwani briefly as well.
Really?
Yeah, at a UFC thing.
Which one? The Dublin one?
UFC Dublin. UFC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was in the crowd, and I went over and said, "How are you there? You all right?" And he took a picture of me. It was nice. Didn't turn out to be a great lad, but sure, look,
could have been worse, I guess.
Kevin Conroy could have given me a kick or something.
I'm Batman. Yeah. I played some games this week that I'll just quickly make before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
I played more Marathon, which is really good, but I'm feeling like my time is coming to an end with it because it's just a skill issue. I can just not play this game on my own. I just get murdered in about 10 seconds after I spawn, which is not very fun. Yeah. I don't typically care all this new obsession with tracking games player counts online. It's very wrestling fans arguing about ratings, but this game hasn't been a bomb, but it hasn't been a huge success either. And I kind of feel like there's few enough people playing it now that the people who are playing it are like free. I get the vibe. There's a lot of people who put 10,000 hours in Destiny. Do you know what I mean? Before this game came out, I'm just if I don't. First of all, none of my pals who I play games have bought this. So they're still on like Arc Raiders and stuff like that. So I'm either playing on my own or I can team up with randos. Teaming up with randos is fine, but it's not my... I would rather kind of play this on my own. It's also kind of scary. It's like a little bit of a horror-y kind of experience. So I'd like to play it on my own, but it's not even a case of I'm playing through the game and I'm getting loads of great news. No, and then I get killed before I can get out of it. I'm like... I genuinely am spawning and dying within 60 seconds when I'm playing on my own because I think the skill level is just massive. So I'm not sure if we're going to stick with it. It's only like a 20 gigabyte install, so I'm going to keep it on my PC, but it's cool. I'm just getting massacred at it constantly, and I feel like I'm barely playing it. Speaking of barely playing it, historic occasion, I got my first Steam refund this week on a video game. Bought Samson 2 weeks ago. That is a very mini faux GTA game. This is from some of the folks who worked on Mad Max, that game a couple of years ago, and Just Cause. People of that heritage, which are good games that I like. They were making a GTA style game. The industry started to shrink and they reassessed, and so they made this game that's basically like you're in like one district of a GTA style city. It's one of those things you can rob cars or drive your own car around, you do crime, you run away from the police, that kind of thing. It has a cool gimmick where it's kind of like you are in debt to the mob, you have $100,000 of debt, and you have to pay them back, and you have a minimum amount you have to pay per day. So you have to go do jobs, steal cars, beat people up, blah, blah, blah. But doing these jobs consumes units of time. So you can only do so many jobs per day, and you have a certain monetary target to hit. And if you fuck up your car and pay to get it repaid, that goes against you. It's an interesting premise. It is completely broken to the point of being unplayable. I'm really rooting for a game like this because it was only 25 quid, small team, trying to make a game that it looks very nice. If you look at the trailers of it, like it looks like a AAA game. Yeah. It's very small scale. So it's trying to do the whole, we want to make a big looking game on a budget, small team, small scope. I want to support that kind of thing. it's comedically broken. Like it's mainly a brawling game. There's no guns in it, and so like if you look at footage of people playing this game, it's like the punches are everything's clipping through everyone. People are falling through the world. Like it doesn't work at all. Hang on, sorry, we've got a. Oh my god! This is way exciting. Oh my god! Brilliant! TNA up there, very good, very good. But yeah, Samson completely busted. To the point. I gave it 2 patches. They pushed out 2 patches, and you didn't notice a difference. I was like, all right, I don't want to be the asshole who refunds an indie game, but I'm like, I cannot play this. It's like so that's a shame. Complete other end of the spectrum, though. Go on.
I saw that a tagline review for it had as a bland theft auto.
Ooh, it's cutting, but it's good. Because I like the idea as well, that the time mechanic with the money I thought was very clever, but it's completely busted. I mean, it's completely busted. Complete opposite side of the scale, I am playing Cairn. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard Cairn, I think it is, yeah.
I would say Cairn.
This is a climbing game, a rock climbing, mountain climbing game. You could make a comparison to something like Baby Steps, because it's one of those games where you control individual limbs, but whereas that is like a comedy game and it kind of controls shit on purpose, this doesn't. This is like, what if we took that seriously, and it actually feels like you have excellent control.
Okay.
So the way you work, this is like a free solo type of mountain climbing in this one. The way it works is you start climbing, and then the left stick will then move a limb, and you try and get it on a grip. And then you press, I think it's X on an Xbox controller to grip it, and then the game will make you move another limb, and that's it. You move one at a time, and the game auto detects which one you want to move, but you can also manually select as well if you want. And it's just, you climb, that is it. It is a mountain climbing game. You have this big gigantic mountain, and there's multiple different routes you go up. And it's quite challenging, but it is very, very, very good. Like I said, the control is extremely precise. I've had some frustrating falls in this game, but it's never felt like I'm kind of fighting the game. It's very satisfying to play. It's also a very weird mix of, like, you could almost call this a chill game. It looks phenomenal. It's one of the best looking games of the year. It's got a really great soundtrack, but it's very stressful. You can lose 40 minutes of, and from experience, I can tell you can lose 40 minutes of progress with a misstep in this game. It's one of those. There's no manual saving. There are save points. There's many. They're generous enough, but there are specific save points up the mountain. If you don't hit one when you fall, before you fall, that's it. It doesn't matter. It has optional objectives. I've lost many a minute saying, I can deviate from the path and go over there and get that. No, can't do that. It's really, really well done. You can, it's fairly realistic. It's kind of like, so you don't have to put every single limb into like a hole. It's not like a video gamey thing where there's a million different clasps on the wall. If you can hang off of like one and just have one, your left hand can be grabbing on something, and then your right foot can be just facing against the wall. But that'll only last for a certain time. Do you know what I mean? You have to try and progress to as many holes as you can. You can stab pittons into the wall to leash yourself to. That's kind of their unofficial form of checkpointing in lieu of saving. You can just stab the wall and then you can rest. But those are limited supply. And it's almost like a Resident Evil game. I'm one of those people that I'll never shoot the good gun in a Resident Evil game. It's like, well, what if I wasted on this guy and then a bigger guy is around the corner? That's silly. You should use your good weapon. In this game, if anyone's thinking of playing this, and I would highly recommend it, use the pittons. Don't hold on to them, because there'll probably be a bigger mountain at the top of this one you're at. There is. But use them anyway. Some very mild survival elements to it. Some Zelda-style cooking. You grab nettles and berries and shit you find along the way, and springs of water, and you can set up your little camp, and you can throw the 2 items into your little small pot. And it is very Zelda-esque in that, like, you'll know at a certain point that if I add this nettle, it'll make it a powerful blank, the way in Breath of the Wild and stuff, you know, that after you played that game for a few hours, you know, adding this ingredient will add this adjective to this soup by making, basically. It's very much like that. So you're it's not a survival game like some of the hardcore stuff people play on PC. It's just kind of like you've a water meter you have to keep an eye on. You've energy levels and stuff like that. It's excellent. It's hard, but it's fair. The mechanic at the center of it is very rewarding. The story is really good as well. There's not a ton of story to it. You are a lone climber. They have a little robot in it. It's not like a sci-fi thing. It doesn't talk, thank fuck. It's kind of like an in-universe. You need to have some game mechanics. So you have a robot coming alongside you that when you stab your Pitt into the wall, there has to be obviously someone holding a rope on the other end of it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to do that. So that's your little robot pal, and he gets voicemails for you from your base cat, and your character's like not answering it, not talking to anyone. So you're piecing together the story. It's really, the voice acting is really good. It's a minimal story, but I really like it. Thumb is way up on this. I put 5 hours into it already. About 2 of those have been replaying the same section that I was dying on prior to doing this podcast. But very, very good. Very, very good. I think that's on consoles as well, so I would recommend that to folks. Very good. Those are the games of the week, and I think that's our pod. Boys, sure. Thanks for listening, folks. We will be back next week with a lot of our stuff wrapped up there. No Pitt next week, no Scrubs. But we will have probably more Mania Fallout. We'll have more Derby Fallout. We'll have we'll have more Chad Stable, and things like that.
WrestleMania Night 2
to complain about.
I'll make these guys sit through me talking about it. Don't worry. I
thought you were about to say you'll make us sit through it. And I was like, you will, you're fuck. I'd like to see you try that.
No, that was one when in Barry's Discord, we were like, Barry, you should watch the John Cena Undertaker podcast. I was like, yeah, fuck.
I was like, yeah, I watched shit on stream. Let me tell you, there is a limit. I'm like, I can only watch so much. Although I did watch a disgusting amount of that Undertaker podcast a few months ago, but I had my little bit. All right,
you have the bag out, right? That's what I'm doing.
Oh, what great timing! That's a nice bedtime theory.
Which I guess is not evergreen for me to say that. Okay, sorry, folks. We recorded this on a Sunday night.
Oh, what, you're worried that you're like you're teething?
Another one? One just came out yesterday.
Alrighty. Thanks for listening, folks. Goodbye. Oh, ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to email us and check out the Fantasy League in real time as well. Drop us an email with thoughts on everything. It's goodbye from me, Barry. It's goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.